7 seconds left in this one. And the Winnipeg Jets have put the Blues on the brink of elimination and put them into a must-win game Friday night in St. Louis. Here's the horn. It's a 5-3 win. A game the Blues never led, tied a couple times. Winnipeg took care of home ice as home ice has made a difference in this series.
We're on to the next one. Hey, it's a playoff series. I thought that was their best game. Thought it was our worst game. We're on to the next one. I believe in our group.
Let's get nasty on a Thursday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie, unfortunately, will have to join us from Winnipeg for a couple of segments because the team plane was delayed. His plane was delayed. And
does he have a PJ?
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Probably not.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't think it'd be private. Maybe. Either way, he was delayed several hours, so he's still up in Winnipeg right now, which means he's going to join us via the phone for a couple of segments as we break down this Blues game. You heard the call there, the end of the call from Chris Kerber on the Blues Radio Network. Is it really just about home ice? Is it that simple? Because you look at the way the Blues played in Games 3 and Games 4, the way that they started fast, how quickly they were moving with the puck, how many shots they generated on a struggling Connor Hellebuyck. Then you look at Games 1, 2, and 5, and it's the complete opposite. Is it really just home ice and the way that these two teams have played on their respective home ice?
I don't know if it's just the home ice. I mean, sometimes, sleeping in your own bed does make a difference. Like you're at home versus the other team being on the road. I thought the Blues and Marshall, you can chime in here if you agree or disagree. I thought the first period, the passing was a little sloppy. They seemed to be passing in each other's skates. I felt like it just felt like the momentum for whatever reason, and maybe the energy in Winnipeg was more than anticipated. I don't know how that could be because it's a playoff game. It's a tied series, and you're trying to take the lead. So I just felt like they just never got going in the manner in which they had been going in the last two games when they were at home.
Yeah, I thought it was not a good performance. You mentioned the errant passes. I think that was not only a first period thing. I think that was a whole 60 minutes type of thing. I think the calls that were made in the first period sort of disrupted the flow of the game for the Blues. They like to come out fast, and when you get a couple guys in the box early on in the first period, it kind of disrupts things, and I thought that maybe they just didn't have it after that. The power play did not look good whatsoever, and credit to Winnipeg. I mean, they made adjustments. You cannot leave Kyle Connor wide open in the slot. That is not the first time that this has happened in this series, and much like what happened in Game 3, the Blues got off to an early start very quickly in that game. The Jets did in Game 5. Like, that was a pivotal game to take a 3-2 series lead, and the Jets got on the board very quickly. Now, credit to the Blues for fighting back and getting back in it, but yeah, overall it was just a sloppy game. We talk about trying to get pucks out of the zone on the first attempt. There was multiple times where the Blues could not get the puck out of the zone. Yeah. And I thought they were losing board battles all night. It just wasn't a good game. And it stunk that we had to wait so long to watch the game and then watch what we saw.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's just one aspect that cost you last night. The Jets were the better team.
Yeah,
the Jets were the better team. The Blues, at least from a performance standpoint, efficiency standpoint, they were better overall. Now, I do think the Blues dominated the second period. I think that was their, or not the. I'm sorry, not the Blues. The Jets dominated the second period specifically. They started fast. Blues, I thought, started to get their skates underneath them a little bit. Then the Jets came out in the second period, completely dominated, completely outshot the Blues. I think it was like 14-3. And then the Blues started to look a little better in the third period. But at that point, when you're down 2 goals, you have to change things up to become a little bit more aggressive. And, they wound up losing the game. I think if the Blues are going to win this series, not just tomorrow night, but if they're going to win this series, they're going to need more out of Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah.
They're going to need more out of Zach Bolduc. I know Zach Bolduc is a young player and he's inexperienced, but you've been one of the guys this season. So I think it's fair to say those are two guys that you need a lot more from. Winnipeg got secondary scoring in Game 5. And I think that was an element that the Blues unfortunately didn't get, unless you consider like the Jimmy Snuggerud goal, secondary scoring. But
hey, Nathan Walker, he had 2 goals last night, Anthony.
It's true. My bad. But I think overall, when you look at last night's game, the depth was there for the Jets, wasn't there for the Blues. And just like Games 1 and Game 2, you didn't really test Connor Hellebuyck enough to see if he's going to crumble again.
I thought Colton Parayko had some good shots on goal, and I thought the goal by Jimmy Snuggerud, we were talking about that one, that was a pretty soft goal from Connor Hellebuyck, but you just got to get more shots on it. I was watching that game. There was a play that stood out to me. The defenseman Stanley was bullying Snuggerud. Like, he was just giving him the business, and you could tell Snuggy didn't want no parts of it, which he's young, he's smart. This dude's 6'7". He's a large human being. On skates, he's probably like 7 feet tall. I think that's a moment where you probably miss a Tyler Tucker. Like, you probably you got to have some brute force. Like, you got to have a couple of those guys. And Braden Shen can't always be that guy. I felt like the Winnipeg Jets they had been trying to the last couple of games kind of bully their way into the series. And I thought last night at times they were able to do that as well. Just that play in particular just sticks out to me because I felt bad for Snuggy. He's a rookie. He's smaller than this guy. It was like, you're trying to bully me. I probably would have hit him with my stick. No, that's illegal, but I probably would have took it across his face. Just saying. Sure. Don't keep pushing me. But I think you needed a Tyler Tucker in that situation, or somebody to come punch him in his face or drop the gloves and say, hey, you're not going to bully this young man.
Yeah, and speaking of Tyler Tucker, I thought that third pairing for the Blues had a tough night.
That was a rough one. Letty and Suter.
It was a tough night for that third pairing. Honestly, I thought it was a tough night for most of the defensemen last night. We didn't see them activate as much, creating that offense that we saw in Games 3 and 4, specifically Game 4. But the team itself, they just look slow. They look super slow. And again, not winning battles in your own zone to get that puck out of the zone, which when you're in your zone for so long, you have zero forecheck. The forecheck was basically non-existent, it felt like, up until, I believe, that third period when they did start to get some opportunities. But, yeah, just a tough night, I think, for the team. But for me, I still have that belief, though, that they can win Friday night.
Oh, yeah. Before we get into Game 6, let's stay with Game 5. But I completely believe that too, Marsh. But I think, again, going back to last night, it does what you said. I mean, that defensive pair of Letty and Suter, they struggle. They're on the ice for several of those key goals. Puck watching in front of the net instead of bodying guys up. It wasn't the same Blues team that showed up in 3 and 4. I do think the 3 and 4 Blues, the Games 3 and 4 Blues team will show up tomorrow night. But again, let's hold off on that. Jim Montgomery spoke after the game on several things. One of the things that he discussed was how the top 3 lines can be better.
Well, we got to be more connected. Like, I just, I didn't think our puck support was good enough. I didn't think we got back quick enough. I didn't think we won our forecheck. We didn't establish it. Like I said, it's every facet. But you know what? It's a series, and it's going to happen. Unfortunately, we're not happy about it, but we're on to the next one. It's as simple as that. We got to forget about it now. We're in a series.
And we'll get into the other aspects of last night's game, not only coming up next, but also with Jamie, including the hit on Mark Scheifele and the way this series may have been altered last night from a physicality standpoint. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Game 6 is tomorrow. You can join me and the 101 ESPN Street team tomorrow night for a Game 6 watch party at Cafe Telegraph. It's going to be from 7 to 9. You can come out, grab some drinks, delicious food, enjoy the Blues game on all of their big screens. Also get registered to win some 101 ESPN giveaways. That's tomorrow night at Cafe Telegraph, located 2650 Telegraph Road in South County. You can learn more about the Game 6 Blues watch party with me, Anthony Stalter, and the 101 ESPN Street team at 101ESPN.com. How has the physicality changed the complexion of this first round series? You'll hear from Jim Montgomery. You'll hear from Oscar Sundquist. That's next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for a Blues playoff report presented by English Sweep Fireplace and Chimney Restoration. Schedule your chimney inspection at EnglishSweep.com.
Kyrou using his bucket to keep Scheifele off the puck, and now he dances it in over the line. Spins it down to Jake Neighbors, who's got points in 3 of the 4 games in this series. Off Pareko, huge hit by Braden Shen. 2 Winnipeg Jets come over to tackle Shen. Braden Shen absolutely blew up Scheifele.
Let's make it clear. 55 got hurt from the Faxa hit. He played 6 minutes after the Shen hit. He didn't come back after he got rocked by Faxa.
Well, I didn't know Monty got his medical degree. I'm trying to say how our player got hurt. He's way off base. Should not make that comment. There's some things that have been going on in this series, and that was a repeat of what we've seen before. A player leaving his feet and then hitting the player in a very unprotected spot, like hitting them in the sense almost blindsiding them. Not happy how the call was made. 2-minute minor. Not even looking at it is what I was upset about. And it is something that we have talked to the league about for 5 games.
Get over it.
The third voice, of course, is Janet, our very own Janet. The second voice was Scott Arniel, the head coach of the Jets, and then Jim Montgomery was the first voice in that. With Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So everybody saw last night, Jets win the game 5-3. They've taken a 3-2 series lead. Game 6 is tomorrow at Enterprise. Mark Scheifele left the game with an injury after 2 hits in the first period, one by Braden Shen and another by Radek Faksa. You heard Monty say, yeah, he was on the ice for, 5-6 minutes after that, so it was the Faksa hit, not the Shen hit on Scheifele. Scott Arniel's like, yep, nope. Monty doesn't have his medical degree, so keep my players' names out your mouth, is what he said. Now, as somebody used to hit people for a living, Carey, I can see you seething over there. What did you think of the hits?
Well, before we do that, I want to go back to what our comment. We had a comment a couple weeks ago about tougher players. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's football. Like, you know what that's called?
No, don't do this again.
You know what that play is called? What just happened?
Yeah, normal hit.
2nd and 6. Like, what the hell are we talking about? Get the hell out of here, man. Are you kidding me? You're done? You got hit and now your ribs hurt? Your chest hurt? You bruised your sternum? Go sit down, man. I was going to say it's football, but it's not.
They're wearing less padding.
Yeah, so what? Who cares? That means it's not going to hurt as bad when you get hit, clearly.
If Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback, that's absolutely a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, well.
Oh, 15. They're kicking him out of the game.
Out of the game. He's done.
Yeah.
The league. Like, never playing again. He has to resign right then. No, I think I don't think those were. We were just looking at the Braden Shen hit against Scheifele. It looked like Scheifele missed the puck. He swung at it, tried to pass it, missed it. It skipped over his stick, and Braden Shen had already committed to the hit. It's similar to what we see with quarterbacks when the defensive lineman is already in motion to hit. They release the ball, and then they get a 15-yard penalty for hitting them too hard. It's sports. You're going to get, and it's playoffs. Like, you're going to get hit. The Faksa hit, he didn't complain. It didn't sound like there was any complaint there. Faksa ran into him, and he sat down for a second, got up, and he continued to play. So it was probably an accumulation of both of those hits. I mean, his sternum is probably bruised. He's probably got some ribs or sternum area pain. It's hard to breathe. But, I mean, I don't think that either one of those, you said that Shen left his feet. Again, I think he's just playing, and they've been taking shots. Nobody complained when Jordan Kyrou got smoked, and he didn't even continue to play. He literally skated over, hunched over to the bench because he couldn't breathe. Like, nobody said anything then. So, it's just, to me, it's hockey. Guys are playing. You're playing for your playoff life, for your season's life, and you're trying to win a game and by any means necessary. And Scheifele was just the person that got hit in those instances.
I think there's some fans up in Winnipeg that look at what Matthew Tkachuk did to Jake Gensel, and they're like, well, this is exactly, what happened last night with Braden Shen and Mark Scheifele. The big thing, though, is that Scott Arniel, he announced that Mark Scheifele will not travel for Game 6.
Right.
So now we look at what the Jets will do without Mark Scheifele. Although you can make the argument they looked pretty okay last night without him throughout
Certainly.
the rest of that game.
But he's a great player, and I think your point is well made. And that if you do not have him, you don't have one of your top players for a game clincher, or a series clincher, I should say. Let's take a step back though. If we look at this and we look at it from the 500-foot view here, if you go into the series, Scott Arniel's talked about how this is a continuation of things that we have seen. He's, in my opinion, alluding to not only Blues' physicality, but in what I'm sure he believes are some dirty, cheap shots. Mm-hmm. But if we were to take a step back here and look at what is the game plan for the Blues entering the series? The game plan absolutely has been and should have been, we need to be physical. Mm-hmm. We need to be physical because eventually these hits are going to take a toll. And if we get to Game 6 or Game 7, it's going to make a difference. This is why the Blues have been physical, not to hurt or injure other players, but to send a message that you may have won the President's Cup, you may have more overall skill, but you're going to have to earn it because we're going to run through you. That was the Blues game plan coming in, and we're seeing it live, and quite frankly, it has worked out. Outside of the fact that the Blues are trailing 3-2 in the series.
You're trying to assert your dominance. You're trying to let
Absolutely.
the team know you can't be bullied. And not to compare it to football, but it's a physical sport. There are collisions that take place in hockey. Not nearly as many as there were in the 80s and 90s. They've cleaned up some of those things. They don't even let them chase after the puck when it's supposed to be icing because people were getting crushed into the boards. Cool, whatever. But it's still contact in the game. And so you have to be more physical in the right times. And Jamie talked about this, not searching out those hits because you miss out on the plays that are in front of you. But when the opportunity presents itself, you put pads on people, you hit people when you can. And I think that's what the Blues have been doing, and they've been doing a good job. If Scheifele is unable to play in Game 6, which he's not because he didn't travel, no, that's part of the game. You toughen up, Buttercup. You got to deal with it. If that would have happened to Jordan Kyrou, nobody in Winnipeg would be saying, they'd be like, sounds like a him problem, not a us problem. So it is what it is. That's one of their best players. He's been playing outstanding. But I don't think it was necessarily an attack. It's not like, what was it, when they were trying to hurt Brett Favre at quarterback. Not deflate gate. What would they call that?
No, that's bounty gate. That's the whole reason why the Vikings haven't won a damn Super Bowl.
It's the only reason, quite frankly.
They were trying to kill him, right?
Yes.
They were paying people, allegedly. I don't know, maybe there wasn't.
I don't even know if it's allegedly at this point.
Yeah,
I think they've got proof.
So, it's not like they were actually attacking him or searching him out. It's just those two plays happened to happen, and he got two good licks on him, and you get up, take a deep breath, and figure out how to finish the game, or don't. That's part of sports.
You get up, you figure out where your soul is, and
figure out where your bench is. I've had a situation where I was going to the wrong huddle, wrong bench.
CD, we're over here.
Okay, here I come.
That guy isn't concussed.
He's definitely concussed.
What'd you guys think of the officiating last night? And it kind of went away, as the game progressed. But that first period, I believe there was 8 total penalties that were called.
Well, why don't we hear from Oscar Sundquist, who talked about his embellishment penalty.
I mean, I'm bleeding from my lip and my teeth are hurting, so I don't know how that's an embellishment, to be honest.
That was BS.
He brings up a great point. I'm embellishing this. I'm bleeding. I'm literally bleeding.
How if you're a referee, a guy comes up to you, he just gets elbowed in the face, goes down like a sack of potatoes, comes over to you, shows you there's blood coming from his mouth, and you're like, sorry, brother.
Don't believe you.
Got to go sit for 2.
Sorry, brother. I'm not buying your tall tale. Get out of here. Go to the penalty box. Yeah, well, Marsh, I thought you brought up a great point in the first segment, talking about how the penalties in the first period almost, and this is not an excuse, man, you have to battle through them.
Right.
It did kind of interrupt the game flow for the Blues early on. Got to battle through it, though, period. Mm-hmm. There's no excuse, because everything still happened. Letty still didn't play well. Suter still didn't play well. You still were caught puck watching on a couple of those goals. The defense overall wasn't great. You have no idea what cologne Connor Hellebuyck is wearing because you barely got close to him all night. Like, those are all, those things still happen, but it did alter the start of that game.
And Jamie brought up a good point yesterday when we did the keys to the game about not taking dumb penalties. I thought that some of the penalties that they took, like Justin Falk slashing the stick out of one of the Jets players, on that zone entry, like you can't do that.
Yeah.
I know
but
that
Fowler also got his stick his stick was broken in half.
So the officials, they were calling stuff, but they weren't calling stuff.
Yeah, so it's difficult to gauge what is
for sure.
What are we doing tonight? Are we able to knock a stick out of someone else's hand, or are we able to slash a stick and break it, or are we able to, or are we not? Because if it's going to be one way, then it should be both ways. And I don't think the refs had that much play into what happened. Like, I think the Blues didn't perform well enough to win that game. But when you're playing the game and you see some things happening on the other side, naturally you assume, well, hell, I can do it too because they're not calling it. And then boom, they blow the whistle, and now you're sitting for 2 minutes.
That's frustrating.
That to me is the frustrating part.
Now, the Blues have done a good job at killing penalties.
Yeah.
And you can gain momentum off of a penalty kill. I just felt like the Blues didn't do that last night. They didn't take advantage of it. But, like we said, we still have another game. We've seen this team bounce back before.
Right.
I expect them to look completely different come Friday.
What did you guys think of old Applebee's last night going over to the ref after his team scored and deciding to complain about the potential high stick that he ran into instead of celebrating the goal?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
He thought he got high sticked. I mean, if you watch the replay,
his own teammate.
He almost like whoever the Blues player was. I think it was Parayko. He had to stick up a little bit, but he ran into the stick.
Oh yeah.
And then laid on the ice, kicked the puck over. They wound up scoring on it. And then instead of celebrating, he rolled up to the refs to complain.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think the rule has been changed. I know they changed it in college, but I don't know if they changed it at the NHL level. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but if there is a delayed penalty, regardless, and you score, there's no penalty.
Right. It's over.
It doesn't matter.
Celebrate with your team. If I'm the ref, I'm like, dude, you scored.
What are you complaining about?
What are you doing?
Dum-dum.
Yeah. All right, it's a penalty. You scored. You're good. Oh, well. All right. Jamie Rivers will join us from Winnipeg. His plane was delayed, so he's in Winnipeg for most of the day today. He will join us at 2:45 and 3 o'clock to share his observations from last night. We also have Chris Kerber joining us at 3:30, so plenty of Blues discussion from last night's game, but we do have What's Trending next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the Winnipeg Jets last night by a final score of 5-3. Winnipeg leads in the series 3-2, but the Blues have an opportunity to tie the series on Friday. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Game 6 pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. The Cardinals took care of business yesterday in Cincinnati in their doubleheader affair. 6-0 in Game 1 and a 9-1 victory in Game 2. They are taking on the Reds right now after a rain delay. The Reds lead in that one heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. Score is 4-1. We'll dive into that game and what's trending, which is coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh. This Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, the Cardinals currently trail the Cincinnati Reds right now. 4-1 is the score, but I want to talk about last night. The Cardinals, a 9-1 victory after defeating the Reds earlier yesterday, 6-0. You know, are we starting to see the offense come around a little bit? Do you think the rain delay today maybe has them stuck in the mud a little bit? What are your thoughts?
I think that this is. By the way, I said that the game last night was going to be the rubber match. I completely whiffed on the fact that it's a 4-game series. So I apologize to anybody that was saying that I was saying yesterday. It's a 3-game series. It's a 4-game series. But to answer your question, Marsh, I think that this is just the natural ebb and flow of a 162-game season. I think on offense, an entire offense can get hot and cold, just like a player can get hot or cold. So the fact that they scored 9 last night and went off in the 9th inning in Game 1 yesterday to win 6-0, and now the offense is dead. I just think, again, this is kind of the natural ebb and flow of a baseball season. They had 1 run for 8 innings yesterday until they had the back-to-back home run. So it's baseball. But I love the fact that Contreras hit a home run. Paez hit a home run last night to go along with the fact that Wynn hit a couple and Nootbaar had another one. Typically when they hit home runs, they win. And I'm not saying it's all or nothing, and they should have that approach. I'm just saying if they have a team that can be in the top 10 in home runs, they're going to be better than maybe what we think.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. I think it's baseball. You're going to have some games, unless you have one of those lineups that you paid a lot of money for. You're probably going to have some games where you don't have success or don't hit the ball well. It's just part of it. I'm looking forward to Herrera getting back and seeing what he's looking like when he's swinging, because I think they do miss his bat in the lineup, and I think that adds more pop, more value to what they're already able to do. I think they were really rolling when he was in the lineup because he was smoking the ball. So when he gets back, I would like to see what the lineup looks like, where he fits in the lineup. I think he's your 3-hole hitter, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Guys, we had a few NHL teams make it to the second round last night. That would be the Washington Capitals, who finished that series off against the Montreal Canadiens 4-1. My upset pick did not come true. Carey, you were right all along. And the Panthers take down the Lightning in 5 games as well. Another series that I got wrong. The Panthers look like they're probably going to win the Cup again. You guys think that's the case?
I had the Panthers. I may have had the Panthers winning it all in our little predictions.
So that means they'll win.
Here we go.
That means we can crown them champions. You always get that right.
Here we go.
Time out. I'm not sure. I know I had the Panthers at least in the final. but I can't remember if I chose them.
I think I had Dallas winning it all.
Or another. Well, hey, you never know. They might.
I think I had them playing the Caps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Lightning, that really, I mean, you got to battle through it, right? But what a horrible draw.
Yeah.
Their loss just comes down to the fact that they had to face the Panthers in the first round.
And they got smoked.
And they got smoked. So obviously they weren't good enough to win it all as it is. But I mean, the Panthers, that Lightning team, who knows how far they could have gotten had they not drawn Florida. But also, that's why you play the game. But yeah, Florida looks fantastic. I don't know what the read is yet on the Capitals. I think Montreal, I know that you had picked them, Marsh, but Montreal, not necessarily a formidable first-round opponent. Mm-hmm. Same deal with the Devils, who got eliminated by the Hurricanes in a gentleman's sweep. I guess overall not too surprising based on what we saw.
And I'm very interested to see what happens tonight between the Maple Leafs and the Senators. The Senators were losing that series 3-0. They have now won the last 2.
Could you imagine?
So, where do you think this would rank? Let's say the Maple Leafs blow this. Where would this rank in terms of best comebacks in sports, given the magnitude of the series? Because Red Sox, Yankees will always be number 1.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Yeah, and the Cavs, didn't the Cavs come back when LeBron went back to Cleveland? They were 3-1.
3-1. They were down 3-1. They won.
And that was the final.
That was the final.
The problem here is that it's going to take a backseat to a lot of these because it's just a first-round matchup.
For sure.
It would be impressive, and when you factor in the Toronto and all their postseason failures over the years, I still think, though, that a first round series, if the Senators were to come back, and Game 6 is tonight, I still think it would take a backseat to a lot of the series that were either conference finals or actual finals.
Would you rather see the Maple Leafs go up against the Panthers in round 2 from a series and, as a whole?
Jamie?
Or would you rather see the battle of the Tkachuk brothers?
I'd rather see the battle of the Tkachuk brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think so, too.
I love Chief.
Right.
And I would hate the fact that he'd also be a part of this narrative that Toronto can't get over the hump, but Toronto can't get over the hump. Unless they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why narratives exist, Carey.
Until you change it.
Yep.
I love a good narrative, Anthony. I love a good storyline.
I know you do. All right, we're going to talk to Jamie live from Winnipeg next about the series being all about adjustments. We saw the adjustments made in Game 3 for the Blues, and we saw some adjustments being made by the Jets last night. So how did the Blues counter now heading into Game 6? We'll talk to Jamie about that and much more next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's head to our Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by Jamie Rivers, who unfortunately is stuck in Winnipeg for the next couple of hours after his flight was delayed following the Game 5 loss last night to the Jets. Jamie, how are you, bud?
Oh, just dandy. Just can't get enough of good old Winnipeg. Thought we'd stay here until, 7 o'clock or so tonight.
I'm sure. Before we dive into kind of the nitty-gritty from last night's game, just your overall opinion from last night's loss to the Jets.
This is a really weird series because you have two teams that have shown you their best and their worst. Like the first two games here, not that the Blues showed their worst, but when it played, they played well enough to win the first two games 1 and 2. The Blues did not have their best performances in either of those third periods. So you look at it and go, okay, not exactly ideal, but we'll see what happens back in St. Louis. You go to St. Louis, and the Blues give you almost perfect performances. I mean, they blow the doors off the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets can't play. They can't keep up. They can't score goals. They can't defend. The goalie can't get hit with the puck. Like, you're thinking to yourself, wow, this thing's over. And then back to Winnipeg, and the Jets become good again, and the Blues give you maybe their worst game of the series so far. So I don't really know what to make of what's going on. I usually don't lean into the fact that home ice is such an advantage, but I'd be an idiot not to say that home ice right now has been massive for these teams because it's almost like a Jekyll Hyde situation for both teams.
Sure.
Jamie, what did you think about the hits on Scheifele yesterday?
Well, Carey, first of all, I loved them. Now, give you my professional opinion, and I said it on the air last night. Once I saw the Schenn hit, I thought it was a charging. He gets up off his feet, and by the letter of the law, you don't have to hit someone in the head for it to be called a charging. You just have to leave your feet. You have to launch yourself into an opponent. And I thought it was a charging. I thought it was a 2-minute penalty. I didn't see how Schenn got another 2 minutes of roughing when he got attacked by 3 Jets players following that. Like, if you look at the replay, you'll see Tanev and I forget 2 other guys come and tackle Schenn right to the ice. Like, I don't know how that's roughing. That's more like receiving, if you ask me. But look, if you're the Jets and you're the Jets fans and you're Jets staff, you don't like the hit. If you're the Blues, you don't like the hit from the standpoint of it costs you 2 minutes in the penalty box. But that's it. Like, when the NHL sends out a memo getting ahead of it all saying, look, there's going to be no further supplemental discipline for this hit, then the NHL's telling you that the referees did their job. They called the 2-minute penalty, and that's that. Like, time served. Now, as far as the Foxa hit on Scheifele, Radek Fox is hilarious. I love this guy. Like, he's just standing there, and Scheifele runs right into him and drops like a sack of potatoes right in front of him, and Foxa doesn't even move. And I truly believe that that's the hit that did more damage to Scheifele than what happened with Schenn. I mean, the only argument you could have if you're a Jets fan or Jets personnel is that there may have been damage done with the Schenn hit, and then the Foxa hit magnified it, and that's truly what put the player out. But, Scheifele got hit by Schenn and went on to play for another 6 or 7 minutes before he got rung up by Foxa, and then he never came back after that.
Jamie, when you look at adjustments that could be made now for Game 6, I mean, this series has really been about adjustments. From what you saw last night, is there an adjustment to be made for the Blues, systematically, or is it just simply about finding their game again like they did in 3 and 4?
Yeah, my only thing would be, don't play like you did last night. That's it. Sure. As far as systems and all that stuff that go on with this, the only thing that happened last night that was kind of funny is the Jets kind of flipped the script on the Blues, whereas in games 3 and 4, we saw the Blues defensemen getting pucks to the net from everywhere and bodies to the net with the forwards. The Jets literally duplicated that last night here in Winnipeg, as every time their defensemen got pucks, they just wristed them towards the net. Not even really trying to hit the net, they pulled a page out of the Blues book and just said, look, let's throw pucks in here and create a situation to where the Blues have to continuously defend, find pucks, find loose bodies, pick up sticks, like all the things that worked so well for the Blues, the Jets basically stole a page out of that book and used it against them last night's game. So I don't think there's many adjustments left at this point. I think it's finding the game, finding your best game, and just going with that consistently. And I think that's the problem for both teams is there's been consistency, but not throughout the whole series. Yep. And I think both coaches would tell you that we're really pleased with some of the games or some of the periods, but we haven't really seen the best from both teams for an extended period of time.
Jamie, we're talking about the defenseman here. How big of an impact do you think Tyler Tucker would have had in last night's game?
I don't know. Listen, I have a ton of respect for Tyler Tucker, and I think he was playing well, for sure. But it's not like Nick Lidstrom was out of the lineup for you. No, and I don't mean that to be insulting. I hear a lot of people well, what about, this player, that player? Or Gabe Velarde came back. Yeah, he's a good player. He had 27 goals. It's not like you added Kucherov to the lineup. So, these players do have an impact. How big of an impact? I guess it's to be determined. I don't know if Tyler Tucker would have been the difference last night in changing everything for the Blues. Not unless he could get 10 or 15 shots on net by himself.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about the play and the referees, and I think you said late in the game in the third period, the referees just swallowed their whistle. What did you make of all of the penalties that were being called early on, and how difficult is that to adjust to when you're trying to get in the flow of the game and you're just not able to?
Well, it's tough, Kerry, for these officials. It really is, because this is a really violent series, and there's a lot of stuff that are going on that are within the parameters of the rules. I'm not even suggesting that there's so many cheap shots going on. Both sides have been extremely physical. I think both sides have gotten away with some things that maybe they shouldn't, and both sides have also have received penalties in certain situations where maybe they shouldn't have. But when you're a referee, you're trying to keep the peace a little bit. You're wanting a hockey game to be played. You don't want full carnage out there, and it's tough to tell sometimes, what's a punishable offense, how bad is it, and then throughout the game, you're making adjustments as an official as to see, what's the worst thing I've seen and what's the least thing I've seen to have required penalties, and where's our medium ground in all of that. And I think that by the end of the game, they were just we know what this is. These guys are playing through it, and we're just going to let them play until there's a situation to where there's a goal-scoring opportunity that's denied or someone is in a spot where they could get injured. And I don't mind that. I get tired of hearing whistles. I get tired of penalty kill, power play over and over and over. If it's an egregious play, call it for sure, no matter who it is, whether it's the Blues or the Jets. Keep the guys safe if you can, because obviously we don't want anybody getting hurt. But after that, man, it's playoff hockey. It's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be a battle. It's supposed to be what team can battle through the most to win. And I'd rather see that than guys just a revolving door in and out of the penalty box for either side of the bench.
Jamie, do you think we see any lineup changes heading into Game 6 on Friday?
Okay, well, let me ask you this. What would you do? You asked me there would be lineup changes. I don't know, but, if you're Jim Montgomery, who do you put in that's the difference maker? What do you have in the bullpen?
I mean, me personally, I would keep it the same how it is. I just think that it just comes down to the players.
I might go back to Matthew Joseph. He's probably chomping at the bit to do something, seeing as he didn't sat out the last couple of games. That might be, if you were looking for one person that could bring some energy, the person that's been sitting around and waiting and watching.
Hofer.
Whoa! Bennington is the least of our problems right now. He was locked in last night, even though, some of those goals, they were bouncing off play. One bounced off Parayko. What are you going to do about that?
Yeah. So, Carey, let's go back to Matthew Joseph just for a second, because he'll bring energy. That's fine. But what else do you think he brings to the table that's going to help this team actually win a game?
I don't know. I think you needed some energy last night. So maybe that's just kind of hindsight being 2020. Not that I think Texier is playing poorly. I just think if you were to swap one person, I don't know that you need to adjust anything on the lines. You've been playing really well, but if you needed some energy and somebody that's been rested for a couple of days, that might be the route that I went.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, and I'm not trying to challenge you on your opinion. I just, at some point in the series, like the players have to take over.
Right.
And swapping out a Texie for a Joseph, it's not that big of a difference, in my opinion. I think that Texie has played pretty well. I think that he controls the puck a little bit better. I think he gives you more offensive upside than Matthew Joseph. But the flip side of that, Joseph is a good penalty killer. He does have a lot of energy, but he doesn't have quite the puck skills or the ability to create any offense like Texier. So I guess at the end of the day, for Monty and his staff, it's going to be, what do we think we need more of in an elimination game? And if it's energy and excitement and things like that, or just fresh blood, then yeah, Matthew Joseph probably gets the tap. But if it's Monty and his staff thinking, we didn't really generate a whole lot of offense in Winnipeg, we need to make sure we have guys who can put the puck in the net and control the puck and keep it in the offensive zone, then he probably stays with Texier. It's going to depend on how they feel, I guess.
Jamie's going to hang around for another segment. We'll talk to him about the series, no matter how it goes, being beneficial for the youth of the Blues. So Jamie will be with us again for the next segment here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Got my guy Stewie on the line right now, and Stewie, as somebody that used to be self-employed, I know what a mess it can be when when you're trying to borrow, when you're trying to prove income and all that. How can we best help our clients here?
Hey, we had an ESPN listener in 2023. They had huge losses on their company, self-employed, opened up a business right after COVID, all kinds of challenges, lost money. 2024, they made some money. They made about $200,000. Not bad for a year's worth of work, but that's what they made. With the losses, if you average it over a 2-year period, they wouldn't qualify for their loan. They went to many lenders. Can't do your loan. You can't buy the house. That's the end of the story. Came to us. We closed it in 10 days. Why? We know that there are programs that just allow for 1-year tax returns instead of 2. Other lenders don't know that. They ask for 2, and they average it over the 2-year period. We got to ignore the 2023 taxes. Just did it based on the 2024 taxes, and he got his loan. So just as important as the rate and the bagel with no closing costs is knowing who you're working with, that they know all the guidelines and how to fit your situation to make things happen.
Stewie, he's not just saying it like Hellebuyck is when he says, I've learned all about goaltending. Stewie actually knows everything when it comes to the mortgage industry, loans, and most importantly, how to help you. I mean, there's so many different avenues, and everybody's situation is different. That's why you need to pick up the phone and either call or text Stewie on his personal cell phone number at 314-324-4440. If you miss that number, you can always Google the bagel loan as well, but reach out. Stewie's there to help. Stewie, keep up the great work. Thank you.
Have a great day, and go Blues.
NMLS number 226715.
It's time for a Blues playoff report presented by English Sweep Fireplace and Chimney Restoration. Schedule your chimney inspection at EnglishSweep.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN 304. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Joining us for another segment is our guy Jamie Rivers via the Collier and Thompson phone line. Jamie is stuck in Winnipeg, unfortunately, because of a flight delay, but he carved out some time for us and for you to talk a little Blues hockey. Jamie, I had teased this. This series seems to be perfect, regardless of how it ends, for the youth of the Blues. I feel like the youth is certainly being served here when it comes to virtually all of the young players, not only getting experience, but, capitalizing on their opportunities. What have you seen out of the young guys specifically in their first playoff series?
Well, look, every game is a learning moment for these guys because they've never played in the playoffs before, at all. And so this one in particular is going to be very advantageous because you're playing in one of the most hostile environments in the playoffs. You know, the Winnipeg whiteouts and the fans here and the insanity that goes on a day-to-day basis when it comes to game time is nuts. It's something that you have to experience to kind of realize just how intense it is. And so these players are, they're getting a crash course in maturing during the playoffs, and it's going to be so beneficial to these guys. You know, Jake Neighbors, he's putting together a solid playoff. Jimmy Snuggerud's still contributing. Another goal last night. That's 3 points for me, by the way. And then, you still have guys like Zach Bolduc, who is showing moments of maturity, and he's also showing moments of still learning out there. Tyler Tucker taking steps in the right direction. So these guys now, whatever happens this year, if they go on to the next round, well, then there'll be still some more growth that happens for round two. But if for some reason it comes to an end in this Winnipeg series, whether it's Game 6 or Game 7 or whatever, is they have a foundation that they can now build off of so that next year when the playoffs come, they know what to expect. They know what's going on, and they'll be able to contribute even more to the veteran group that's still going to be here. And that's when you go from a team that's like happy to be in the playoffs to a team that kind of can make some noise because all of your young guys now, there's no more, they got to get their feet wet. No, they know what's up, and now they're ready to contribute and take this team to the next level. And I think that's what we can expect moving forward with this group.
Jamie, I was watching the game and we were talking about it earlier. Jimmy Snuggerud was kind of getting bullied around by Logan Stanley, who is a large human being. He's much bigger than Jimmy is. What can Jimmy learn in those moments? How can he, become a better player? How does that impact him going forward?
Well, listen, it's an odd situation, right? Because Stanley's a fighter, and he's 6'5" or 6'6", and he's a massive human being. 6'7", 235 or 240, something stupid like that. And you got Jimmy Snuggerud, who's 6'1", 175 pounds, and has never fought, to my knowledge. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I've seen him, nor have I read about him ever having to drop the mitts. So it's a tough situation. I don't blame Stanley for doing it. When you get to the playoffs, it's prison rules. And
they got shakes.
Listen, I wouldn't put it past a few of the guys in this series. I'll tell you that much. But, Jimmy's got to take that. He'll learn from that. As far as Jimmy, dropping the gloves and fighting him, I don't think that's the solution.
No, that's not what I was implying.
I don't think. No, I'm just saying, for anybody who thinks, I just fight the guy, earn your respect. Well, you earn your respect and maybe you lose your front teeth at the same time. Sometimes you're either that kind of player or you're not. But the best thing about Jimmy Snuggerud is he just keeps playing. And that's what I care about. I care about a guy who can take a little bit of a beating. The other team is targeting him, which means that they're worried about him. They know he's a good player. Mm-hmm. And so Jimmy Snuggerud, he should take that and be happy about that, knowing, okay, they're coming after me, means I'm making a difference. Well, I'm going to go continue to make a difference. And he scores a goal again last night, a big goal in that moment. And so you just keep learning from it. You just have to be a player that can understand that you're going to be dealing with some of the abuse, and that every chance you get to try and put that puck in the back of the net, you do it, and that's your payback.
Is that a
moment
moment
trying to hit guys and things like that?
Is that a moment where you miss a Tyler Tucker because he would probably be the guy to jump into the fire in that moment, or is there someone on the roster that's playing right now that can be that guy, or that would be that guy?
Yeah, I think there's guys that'd be willing to do it, but you also have to realize that Logan Stanley's a third pair defenseman.
Yeah.
So if you look at like a guy like Braden Shen, if he goes skates and decides to fight Logan Stanley, Stanley's a big dude. There's no guarantee that Shenner gets the best of him. And then you're losing your second-line center and your captain for Logan Stanley, who's already been a healthy scratch in this series. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of evaluating that has to go on in the moment. And Jimmy Snuggerud was never really at risk of any harm there. There was a little bit of schoolyard bullying.
Yeah.
But, he didn't get hurt. He didn't get punched in the face. He got a little bit of a headlock and kind of shoved around a little bit. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And Jimmy, what he's done is he's proven that he can handle that. He kind of laughs, and he just keeps playing hockey and just keeps trying to score goals. And that means more to me if I'm, the coaching staff and his teammates, is you're not rattling the kid. And that's a good sign.
Jamie's joining us from Winnipeg. His flight was delayed. He's wrapping things up here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. But we got a question from Mark in the Snake Pit. Any status update on Dylan Holloway? I can't imagine that there's anything to talk about. But building back to the injury going into tomorrow night, not only Holloway, but what are the Jets losing in Mark Scheifele?
Well, with Holloway, I don't have this on the direct information, but I wouldn't hold my breath on seeing Dylan Holloway again this season. If he does come back and the Blues go deep enough into the playoffs and there's a chance for him to come back, well, great. Awesome. I'm at the point where the fact that he's not being talked about in any way, that he's injured or that he's skating or working out or seeing the doctors, it leads me to believe that it's probably not very close to coming back. So I would just kind of park that and hope that he gets healthy so that he's ready to go, early next year training camp. It doesn't affect his off season, those types of things. Now, as far as Mark Scheifele is concerned, the Blues did not take advantage of him being out of the lineup last night. Nemestikov stepped up and played a fantastic game for the Jets, his best game of the series by far, after being elevated into that spot. But the Jets are losing a leader in Scheifele. They're losing, I believe, their second top scorer in the season, a power play guy, a big physical guy, good on faceoffs. They're losing the guy that they purposely wanted to match up against Robert Thomas this whole series. So, last night again, Blues don't take advantage of that. That's not to say that they can't put together a better game plan to make sure that they take advantage of it tomorrow night at Enterprise Center. And when it comes to matchups, that's a big deal now for the Jets because Blues will have last change. They'll be able to pick whatever matchups they want. Even though Monty hasn't been huge on matchups, this might change some of that narrative a little bit because you do have a major player out of the lineup for the other team who plays a premium position, the center ice position. And I think you'd be remiss not to try and take advantage of that in some capacity. And I think the Blues will.
All right, Jamie, we'll let you go so you can enjoy all that Winnipeg has to offer, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at Enterprise.
Yeah, I was thinking about heading down here, and I see down the street they got a Dollarama. Got to be pretty hot in there. It'd be pretty cool to pick up a few things for you guys.
Absolutely, yeah, that sounds good. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I got a couple of toonies here. Just should handle it.
There you go. Good. All right, brother. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you got it, boys. Have a good one.
See ya. You too. That's Jamie Rivers live from Winnipeg here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. A lot to get into regarding the Blues, and we'll revisit the Blues at the bottom of the hour with the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber, here on 101 at ESPN. So 3:30, Chris Kerber will join us. We'll also talk about whether or not Connor Hellebuyck has found his groove in the 4 o'clock hour. But are we witnessing the end of the Lebron era? CD's got some thoughts on that. That's next on 101 ESPN. Fastline on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. CD, Rudy Gobert dominated Game 5 last night. 27 points, 24 rebounds, both playoff career highs, including 9 offensive rebounds. He became the first player since Shaq in 2004 with the 2020 game on 75% shooting in a playoff game. Anthony Edwards struggled, but the Lakers were outscored heavily in the fourth quarters throughout the entire series, and they're done.
They are.
LeBron James gave a cryptic no comment when asked about the burden of centerless play when the Lakers played without a traditional center most of the game.
He actually said, well, AD said something about how he felt about where he was playing, and they got him up out of here a week later, so I'm just staying pat. Something like that.
Like he didn't have any sort of say in that.
I don't know. But either way, the roster was it was what it was. You got a generational talent in Luka Doncic to play with LeBron, and they didn't win. And so the question has become, I don't think we've seen the end of LeBron. I doubt that that's how he goes out. But watching that game last night, I was texting my uncle. My uncle lives in L.A. He's been a Lakers fan for as long as he can remember. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, they are hard to watch. Like, they don't play defense. They don't play defense at all. They don't, and then they're offensively, they're one-on-one and shoot, dribble, pass. Okay, last second, I'm gonna pass it. I can't get a shot. You shoot it. It's terrible. So watching the game, it was a tough watch. I feel like LeBron he hasn't hit that wall that we say most athletes' father time is undefeated. He hasn't hit that yet. Mm-hmm. He's still playing at a really, really good level. But it's going to be much, much harder year after year after year to try to make it back to that mountaintop. And we're coming to a close.
Yeah.
Like we might, the door might not be closed and locked just yet, but they starting to play the music and people starting to move around and
Sure.
people are starting to leave. So we're getting close to it.
Well, I feel like when you're an older player, you obviously need a bunch of people around you in order to take some of the pressure off of you. And I don't think it's just going to be one player anymore for LeBron. I don't think there's that right, perfect one player. I think that LeBron will probably need to accept a role in which he is, maybe the third option. But his salary, one, his ego's not going to allow that. And two, his salary is not going to allow any team, Lakers or otherwise, to build a competent roster around him. You also have J.J. Redick. He was criticized constantly for the rotations that he was using last night, and then stormed out of a press conference.
Yeah, J.J.'s he's a Duke guy. You can take that for whatever you want.
I'd like you to explain.
Yeah, Duke guys are. You got
Sensitive?
the North Carolina guys and the Duke guys. They seem a little different.
Okay.
Not that far apart, but it's the mindset. Some of them, not all of them. You probably got a few of them that are cool. Shout out to Chris Carrawell.
Jordan.
He's North Carolina.
Oh, are you separating the two? I thought you were saying
no.
same.
No.
Gotcha. All right.
They're completely different.
All right.
Duke
I read you
guys
now.
are they're different, man.
Okay.
A little weird.
We've heard Doug Armstrong talk about, leaving the Blues in a better shape, in better shape than when, he came in, than when he found it, right? Do you think LeBron has left the NBA in better shape than when he came into the league?
No. I think it's so much better. I think it's so much worse. And I say that because they're so friendly now. Like, it's no, like, Anthony Edwards wants to compete. Like, you can see it. Like, he's pushing LeBron when he's coming down the court. Like, it's not the friendly off-season type of competition. It is, I want to bury you, and you can go willingly or unwillingly. It doesn't matter to me. And so watching this series was fun. But LeBron has brought this, I'm smiling, I'm having fun. And it's okay to have fun, but there's also a point where you have to have you want to kill people on the court. Like, you want to bury them and not allow them to even have the thought of having an opportunity. And there was I think it was game 2 or 3, I don't remember. They were down, talking about the Lakers, like 7, and LeBron is joking.
I saw that.
Like, laughing.
Right.
Bro, y'all are losing. What are you doing? Y'all, you're laughing with the opponent, and man, you see that shot I just took? It was deep wood. Y'all about to lose. Yeah. And your ass about to be visiting another country in a couple of weeks. What? So for me, it made me sick to my stomach. And I think that's kind of the mindset that LeBron James has brought into the league. Has he grown it? Yes, he's been a part of that. It's been outstanding. But the competition part of it, it just has it's not in him, or not in the way that we've seen from Kobe. Jordan, like it's just a different mindset.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of that is necessarily his fault. With his high school games being shown on ESPN and all the fanfare that came with it, because the media, some of the media hyped him as the next Jordan and like this passing of the torch. Mm-hmm. But that's LeBron. To your point, CD has never been Jordan. He's never been Kobe. He doesn't have that mindset. He doesn't have that killer instinct and keep driving and put the chip on your shoulder. I mean, both MJ and Kobe had that. So it's unfair to ask LeBron to be anybody but himself, but we also haven't necessarily gotten to know LeBron, and that is his fault. The way that he portrays himself, his insecurities, the way that he kind of wants to be pampered at times. So it's kind of a catch-22.
I wonder if the NBA is ready to move on from LeBron James and get into another era and get back to being the NBA that it was a few years ago.
Everybody works. Everybody is trying. And I think that's why they try to do – that's part of the play-in tournament mindset is – you're not taking days off at the end of the season, because you can go from a 3 seed to a 7 seed and be in the play-in, as opposed to not. In years past, you could still be in the playoffs. But I think that's why they did that, is to have more competition, because that has lacked. That's why they added the in-season tournament, because you want people to actually compete for something. And this era, they don't compete.
Yeah.
Not in the manner in which we saw years ago. So, and I think that's on LeBron.
They think the NBA is their bank.
Yeah, I could see that.
Whereas, you should just be grateful to be in the league and give it all you have.
It is an interesting comment that you made, though, about maybe the NBA willing to move on. I mean, physicality in the playoffs has been under discussion. Some people think it's way too rough, but I don't know, I think it's just playoff intensity is what we're seeing. I think that the NBA should return to a lot of that, as opposed to what CD just described as the buddy system, where you just kind of play. You figure out how to play with your friends, and if that doesn't work out, and you get a little upset and you get in your own feelings, and you move on and you find a new group of friends to play with. Like, that's kind of what the NBA has become, and it's unfortunate because there is a lot of star power.
Yeah,
in the league,
there's a lot of great talent, and so I hope even the All-Star game, which I told you I went to this year, it was brutal, man. It's tough to watch.
Waste of money?
I wouldn't say it's a waste of money. I went with my son. My son had a great experience. That to me means that it was okay, but I wouldn't ever go by myself.
Yeah,
to watch that crap. Mm-hmm. Like, he enjoyed it, so that's all that mattered. But it was tough. It wasn't competitive. It wasn't fun. It wasn't. Just the energy that you're used to seeing from, gifted athletes. These guys are some of the best athletes in the world. Mm-hmm. So for me to watch it and not see that effort, it drives me crazy.
Does it bother you that these guys make so much more money than maybe some other players in other sports, yet that compete level isn't there compared to other sports? Does that bother you at all? Because it kind of bothers me a little bit.
I don't know if it bothers me the way that you put it, but it does bother me that we don't have the natural rivalries that are as fierce as they have been over the decades in the NBA because of what you just described.
Yeah.
So that bothers me. Like, we've talked about this all the time. Me, Carey, Jamie, we're a product of the NBA, the 90s NBA, where Charles Barkley would never play with somebody that, he would never team up with somebody that he likes. It just, whoever's in front of him, they're going to fetch a beating. Bulls and Knicks, like the Knicks never bowed down to MJ. They had a difficult time beating him, but they didn't like him. They didn't like him. I mean, John Starks and Patrick Ewing and Oakley. I mean,
and Charles Oakley was his teammate when he first got into the league. And Charles Oakley didn't that was his protector when he first got into the league. And by the time he got to the New York Knicks, he would be trying to take Jordan's head off. It's not about we can be friends later.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can.
It's about winning now.
It's about winning, and your window is very, very small to get in that window, that championship window.
Right. So that is what bothers me, Marsh. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Chris Kerber is going to join us next. We'll talk to him about his observations from Game 5 and take a peek ahead at Game 6 next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, listen, it's that time of the year. The air conditioner is starting to go on. You want to make sure it's working well, all right? And how do you do that? Well, a couple of things. Number one, go online at classicaircare.com. Set up an appointment. If you haven't had that unit looked at over the last year, have them come in, have them check it out. Make sure all the components are running properly. Make sure the temperatures are running properly. Make sure your Freon, everything is set. hey, listen, maybe it's something you go, I don't have to do every year, and you're looking at it and it's been a couple of years. Get it done now. That way it'll help you avoid some catastrophic failure when you're dying of the heat in the middle of the summer and your air conditioning isn't working. But let's say that happens. Well, don't worry about it. You can call Classic Air Care as well. They got same-day appointments. They will come to you. You can go online, book them at classicaircare.com. And listen, they got a 4.8 Google rating, thousands of reviews. You don't get that without delivering terrific service. All right, they've come to my house. They've taken care of the furnace in the winter. They've done it again here for the spring. Let them come into your house and do the same and make sure that your house is comfortable. That's what they do. It's Classic Air Care, making people comfortable since 1926.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals are in the top of the ninth inning right now. They are trailing the Cincinnati Reds 9-1. We'll give you an update when this game is over. But we're going to talk about last night's game between the Blues and the Jets with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network. A 5-3 loss for the Blues last night in Winnipeg. They trail in the series. Winnipeg up 3-2. We'll have Game 6 for you right here on 101 ESPN tomorrow night. Pre-game starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. All right, let's head to the we're going to talk with Chris Kerber next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
On 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We're going to head right to the Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined right now by our guy, Chris Kerber. Kerbs, not the best game certainly last night. Not the Blues best in terms of overall performance. If you had one takeaway from last night's game, what would it be?
I think it was just maybe the flattest game we've seen them play from a series standpoint. Without a doubt, maybe one of the best games we've seen from the Winnipeg Jets. So that's kind of my takeaway, and so that way I would really expect the Blues to be a lot better in Game 6.
Curbs, what do they need to do? I mean, they had two really good games at home. They got a lot of shots on Connor Hellebuyck. Is it just as simple as continuing to get shots on him and trusting that he's going to miss a few of them?
Listen, guys, I think what do they need to do? It's a really interesting question. Again, for me, I look at this series, Carey, and I look at the fact that teams have been really good. The home teams have been really good, right? And so to me, I think that even though coaches are kind of downplaying matchups, right? Mm-hmm. I do believe that those matchups have been really big, and those matchups have been extremely important. And based on that, I think the St. Louis Blues are going to have the better matchups. I think it's just literally made a role in this scenario there for the St. Louis Blues. So, and the Winnipeg Jets. So what do they do? I think you got to come up with some energy. I think you got to take advantage of the opportunity. I think you have the same scenario there where some guys are going to have to perform. We've looked at Jordan Carey. Yes, he has 2 goals in this series, right? But the reality of it is they've both been on the power play, right? No even strength points for a guy that was, your second leading point getter on the team and your leading goal scorer. I think something like that's going to have to come through. I felt that he was a pivotal player last night, and to me, it's still there. We can look at support players and stuff, but Scott O'Neill said prior to the game, our best players have to be better than theirs, and Scott O'Neill's best players were their best players last night.
Curbs, what did you think of the hit on Mark Scheifele from Braden Shen and the fallout?
As a Blues fan, I freaking loved it. I thought it was a great hit on Mark Scheifele. I thought it was another great hit that Foxa put on Mark Scheifele. I don't think there was anything cheap of it. When you look at it, the puck actually comes down behind Braden Shen. but it's two guys going for the puck. Guys, if we get to the point where there's a play along the wall in the National Hockey League and the puck is sitting right there, even if neither one touches and they go to collide with each other, right? And we get to that point where now we don't want guys to run into one another to, versus play the puck, well, then you're changing the fabric of the game, and I don't want to see that. So I have no problem with either one of those hits, and I have no problem with some cantankerousness by the Winnipeg head coach as well. But at the same time, that's also hockey. And frankly, I think these playoffs have just been outstanding all the way around.
Curbs,
I mean, I don't care what the series is. I think every series has been fantastic.
I agree. This has been a really good series, and so the other ones. Curbs, there's been talk about potential changes to the lines or, shifting some things around. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think it'll shock you that if you end up seeing the lines changed a little bit there. And one of the reasons is you're facing elimination. Another reason is the fact that while you're facing elimination, you still have to get some of that offensive production there. Now, could I see Jim Montgomery, going with the kind of combinations that he went with on home ice that was so successful? And then if it doesn't seem to be working, change them? Yeah, I would. But when you lose a game like that, when you face elimination, and we know this from the other sports guys, it's a single game scenario now. There's a short leash. If somebody's look like they're having a tough game, they may ride the bench for a while. Things along those kind of lines. You could see some double shifting. If you're down by one, maybe you're seeing, some other guys joining some lines just to try and create some stuff. So I don't think any of that would shock me, to be honest with you, Carey.
Curbs, we've seen a lot of physicality in this series. It's gone back and forth. We talked a little earlier about the young players who are getting their first taste of the playoffs, despite what happens in the series, whether the Blues lose in 6, they lose in 7, if they win in 7 games. Do you think that this series in particular, with everything that has transpired, has been a win in itself for these young players?
Yeah, look, I honestly think there's two scenarios you got to look at, okay? And one is just living in the moment that you're living in with the Blues in the playoffs. And if they can upset the President's Trophy team, you're happy with it. You're thrilled that you're getting experience for the young guys. The other aspect of it, honestly, Marshy, is you absolutely have to consider this season as it is right now. If it ends in Game 6 or if it ends in Game 7, you have to consider this a success. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, it's your first full year. It's your first full year, right? And second full year of not having of the rebuild, however you want to rephrase it, right? Mm-hmm. And you're back in the playoffs. So you trade those guys, you miss the playoffs, that doesn't count. That's ground zero. You missed the playoffs last year in a retool, that's expected. You got to fully have expected this team to potentially miss the playoffs. Now that everything changed again with the offer sheets and how things have worked out, the years that some of these young kids have had. But the simple reality, the real simple reality, is the fact that you made the playoffs with these guys and you got that extra bonus there. So I consider this a very successful year all the way around.
Chris Kerber joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, the voice of the Blues on the Blues Radio Network. Kerbs, on a positive note, who has impressed you the most in this series?
Who's impressed me the most in this series? Well, I'm going to start with the Winnipeg Jets. I think Kyle Connor just continues to be just a special player. I mean, for a guy to make a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois or Patrick Laine expendable, he's the guy that he's shown up on that side of it. Listen, Robert Thomas, I'm going with Robert Thomas from a St. Louis Blues standpoint. He was injured. He was banged up. He was nicked up. He's battled through it. He's had an impact on this series. He's played like a number one centerman, and he's played like a veteran in the playoffs and knows what it takes to win, I think, in all facets of the game. So to me, I think it's just been a fantastic series for Robert Thomas.
Excellent. All right, Curbs, we'll let you go. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. I mean, we will, but sorry for the delay with the plane and what have you, and hopefully you get out of Winnipeg soon.
Yeah, here's what I'm dealing with now. There's a straight on the board. Timmy Paps just raised me, and I'm sitting with pocket kings not knowing what to do. What do you guys think I should do?
Marsh, what do you think?
Now, here's the thing. It's a low-end. Listen, follow this up. It's a low-end straight. It's ace 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay. There's also 3 clubs on the board, so there's a flush draw. Ooh. right? I already know what I'm going to do here, but I'm going to ask you guys. Well, what do you think I should do? So it's a heads-up play at this point in time. There's a chance that he could have a flush, he could have a 6, have a higher straight, or the board itself could play.
Marshy?
I think you just got to get pucks in deep and go in on the forecheck. Yeah, I don't know.
Carey?
Raise, bluff him. He doesn't know what you have either.
Nah, I'm laying down my Kings, boys.
Nah.
All right, there you go. Okay, fair enough.
Wait, here's how it played out. Oh, it would have played the board. It would have been the board. All right. That lay down on my part. Good advice there, Marshy.
All right, Kerbs, good luck to you.
All right, fellas. See ya. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, that's Chris Kerber here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We do need a Gauntlet contestant. The reason why is because our guy from yesterday will not be able to participate today.
He's got work to do.
He's got work to do. He's in meetings, so we'll delay.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Tell your boss. Does he think it works that way?
Yeah, do you think you could get away with that?
Do you think you can tell your boss, hey, I'm on this show, 4 o'clock, I got to be free. Can't do work for 15 minutes. Now, I know I already took my break, but I'm asking for an extended break at 4 o'clock for 15 minutes. I think your boss would say, okay. And then the whole office or wherever you work at, they could listen to you so they know you're not lying or bluffing. Just saying, going forward, if you have work, see if your boss is cool with it. You know? Have the whole, it's team camaraderie. It's about building team camaraderie. They can cheer you on. Hopefully they don't give you the damn answers. We've had some issues in the past.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a group project.
Right.
It's you got to do the work yourself.
It's you stepping into the Gauntlet.
But they can listen. And everybody can be.
And
How many times are you get on the radio, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying. Just some advice from.
Well, for you and I, daily, but.
Every day. Every day.
For others.
Every day.
Not so much. So, yeah, no, I like the way you put that. So, yeah, we do need a Gauntlet contestant. So, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line if you want to text in to play in the Gauntlet. You can. Also, mic drops. Leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop. What do you think about the Blues? What do you pin on, last night? Is it chalking up the fact that, look, it was in Winnipeg again, and that's just the way the series has gone? What are your feelings right now heading into Game 6 tomorrow night? Leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers at 101 ESPN app. We will talk about the Cardinals' 9-1 loss to the Reds. They split the series.
9-1. Anthony?
The Reds won 9-1.
No, the Cardinals won 9-1.
That was last night. This is today. Yeah. So they split the series. Swept the doubleheader. Split the series. We'll get into what happened next on 101 ESPN. Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs. They've got their extender promo going on, and with the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boost each round of the NBA playoffs. But you do have to start with your Game 1 boost, so use that and then continue boosting, and then each game will unlock the next boost. And the longer the series goes, the bigger the boosts are, the bigger the payouts, the bigger the fun, the more fun you have. When it comes to Underdog Fantasy, which is available here in Missouri, all you have to do is choose a player to go higher or lower on their stats. In basketball, it's obvious. The points, assists, rebounds. If you want to play NHL, and by the way, you can combine sports. You could choose an NBA playoff game, choose a player from one of the matchups tonight, and then also choose an NHL player that is playing in a playoff game in the NHL. It's up to you how you want to mix and match, but just choose higher or lower on their stats, and then if you win, you can play for as little as $1. You can win up to 1,000 times your money, all courtesy of Underdog. Download the Underdog app, sign up with my promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, that promo code is Anthony at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. the Cardinals fell to 14-18 and 4-13 on the road with their 9-1 loss to the Reds this afternoon. Apologies early on here. We've been on air for most of the game, so we may not have picked up on every minute detail of this game. So again, offer us a little grace if you would. But one of the storylines was that Matthew Liberatore, in only his 3 innings because they had a rain delay, he allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts with 42 pitches. Not one of his most efficient outings, guys. Not his best. Trevino homered again. That was the big blast off of Liberatore to make it 2-0 Reds, but the bullpen got destroyed again. I mean, every reliever that entered today's game allowed at least 1 run. Swanson, 2 earned runs. O'Brien gave up 3 earned runs. John King gave up an earned run. The bullpen, for the most part, struggled again. But the offense, I mean, you only score 1 run. Can't really hang everything on the bullpen. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of today's game, CD. 9-1 loss.
You think that's going to be a problem?
The bullpen?
Yeah.
I think it has been a problem.
Yeah, okay.
I think it has been a problem.
When do you, I don't know, say, all right, let's fix this? And
when
how
you say
do you
fix
it?
what do you? Yeah, exactly. There you go. Okay, you beat me to it.
Well, Anthony, now, I've told you this before. I had a coach tell me that, in the real world, repeat offenders go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
In the sports world, they lose their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to fix it is to fix it.
Sure.
If you know what I mean.
But do you fix it specifically with the Cardinals? You're not going to give up assets at the deadline to get relievers.
Well, no.
And I think spending on relievers is not always the greatest thing to do. Now, there's always exceptions, but when it comes to kind of look, the bullpen, every bullpen is volatile. We've talked about this. So to go spend a bunch of money in free agency on relievers, that's not the best way to do it either.
Right.
They have to develop these guys. And I kind of like the approach that they had before, which was spend some time in the pen and develop into a big league pitcher, whether that's going to be a starter or you just carve out a bullpen role for yourself. I mean, Matthew Liberatore is a prime example of somebody that in this organization spent the majority of his time in the pen, got some spot starts, had a great spring training, and now he's entrenched for the foreseeable future in the starting rotation. They need more of those guys. They need guys that can, younger pitchers with strikeout stuff that can show that they can hang in the pen, and whether it's closing out games or pitching in high leverage situations, develop those guys.
Yeah, I think right now they only have 2 or 3 guys that they can trust. Ryan Helsley, who I asked BT yesterday, how do you, when you get blowouts like this, I know he was probably up yesterday, but the way that the game ended up going in the first game, unable to play, then unable to play the night because you won 9-1, unable to play again today because you lost 9-1. There aren't many arms in that bullpen that you trust. Obviously, you want to have him solely for save opportunities, but at some point he's going to have to pitch because it's going to be days on days without pitching. You trust him. I think you're starting to trust Kyle Leahy, and I think you trust Phil Maton. And do you have anyone else?
No.
And I've never, not yet, Anthony. I haven't done this yet. I haven't pitched in a professional baseball game yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that those guys can pitch every single day.
No.
No matter how good they are.
I feel like this has been a problem. It's not unique to the Cardinals because a lot of teams go through this, but I feel like this has been a reoccurring theme for the Cardinals, where they only have a couple of guys, and then we start to get on the manager because they wind up feeding them through the meat grinder.
Yeah.
And it's not just an Ollie thing. Tony used to be known for, kind of grinding relievers to dust. Matheny, same deal, and even the untouchable Mike Schilt. Like he had a reputation for that too. It's because you can't trust certain players, certain pitchers, but they're on your roster.
So that's the problem for me.
Exactly. You have to develop them.
Well, I think there's not much, in my opinion. The development takes place in the offseason. there's not enough time. You can work on things, but not enough to get the satisfaction you need from working on those things, like the result. It takes more time to get the product back from working on it. It's not enough time, in my opinion, to work on those things during the season. So developing relievers in May is going to be a tough task. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how, because eventually this team is probably going to be third or fourth in the division. But if you had competent relievers, you might be a second place team or pushing for a first place team. And I think that's unfair to the players, because you never know. Each year to year, you want to be in the playoffs. You want to have an opportunity to win a championship, because you don't know what the following season is going to look like. You might get hurt. Your best player might get hurt. Your team might start off, with 2 wins and your manager gets fired, and now it's a completely different direction that you're going. So I think it does a disservice to not try to be successful in the areas when you have that opportunity.
That's Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's a Fast Line on 101 ESPN, and we've got a new Gauntlet contestant coming up next here on 101 ESPN.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN, where it's 4:02. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Cody. What's up, Cody?
Not much. How you fellas doing today?
We're doing all right, man. We appreciate you listening. Thank you for playing. Would you like to take on Marsh, Kerry, or me in the first round?
That is a tough call. I've been down this road before. I got whacked by BT a few years ago, so I don't consider myself a nice guy, so let's go with Marsh today.
Okay, there we go. Good. All right, I like that. All right, before we kick Marsh out, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marsh, can you spin that wheel for me, sir?
All righty, so Marsh, get out of here. He's heading to the cone of silence right now. Cody, is there any category that you're hoping for?
Whatever the wheel blesses me with, I hope I do right by it.
Okay, so now that the wheel has stopped spinning, what do you really want?
It's playoff hockey. We got to go with hockey, right? Hopefully.
Okay. Kerry, you can see the wheel. I cannot.
It is football.
Ooh, how do you feel about foosball?
I'm an Eagles fan, so I feel all right about it right now.
Congratulations to your team.
Well, it's a new year, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, you still got to be celebrating a little bit.
A little bit. I've got a 2-year-old that is already starting to sing "Fly Eagles Fly," so
okay,
we're doing all right.
Yeah, man. All right, Cody. You're going to get 4 football-related questions. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. How many different NFL teams did Chris Long play for? How many different NFL teams did Chris Long play for?
Patriots, Rams, Eagles. I can't remember if there was a fourth. I'll go 3. Final answer.
Question number 2. Who was the last non-quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP?
I want to say Cooper Kupp, but I could be wrong. Let's see the options.
Is it Cooper Kupp, Julian Edelman, or Von Miller?
Yeah, we'll go Cooper Kupp. Final answer.
Question 3. How many games went to overtime in last year's NFL playoffs?
Let's hear the options.
0, 1, or 2.
Let's go 0. I don't remember a whole lot of overtimes.
Final answer?
Final answer, yeah. Final answer.
Question number 4. Which team defeated the LA Chargers 32-12 in the wild card round last postseason?
Was it the Jaguars or was that the year before? Let's see. Let's go with the options again.
Is it the Baltimore Ravens, the Houston Texans, or the Buffalo Bills?
Okay. Baltimore Ravens, final answer.
All right.
It's Kerry's team, right?
That's Kerry's team. No, not anymore. It was never his team. He was never his team. Yeah.
I hope I didn't break the truce there. Sorry about that, boys.
You might have.
No. It was. Listen, he's here we go. Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. No QB.
What?
Unless they want Kirky.
No, thank you.
All right, Marsh, welcome back from the Cone of Silence.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was very silent.
Okay, all right, good.
In there.
Man, a
All
few
by
words
yourself?
right now.
You guys talking about Kirk Cousins?
No. No. Gary doesn't want him. So,
no, thank you.
We'll keep him as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're talking foosball.
I figured so, since you were talking about Kirk Cousins.
Absolutely. Your category is random.
Oh.
Let's get into this. No, it's football.
Okay.
Yeah. Kerry?
Pack a lunch.
All right, Marshy. Question 1. How many different NFL teams did Chris Long play for?
How many different NFL teams did Chris Long play for? Okay. We have the Rams. We have the Eagles. We have the Patriots. So it's at least 3. Did he play for anybody else, though? I don't think so. I'm trying to think here. Maybe there's one I'm missing. I'm going to go with 3. Final answer.
Question number 2. Who's the last non-quarterback to win the Super Bowl MVP?
Wait, is it random or is it football?
It's football.
I said,
it
no,
is.
just
That's
kidding.
right.
It's
Yeah,
football.
you tripped me up. Okay.
But I did say, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
It's
you're
football.
right. You're right. Okay. What was the question?
You got to change your brain, don't you?
I admit it. It was football.
Who was the last non-quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP?
The last last non-quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP. Well, I believe that would be Cooper Kupp, because he won it. Let's go backwards here. We have Hurts, Mahomes again. Yeah, Cooper Kupp. Final answer.
All righty, Marsh. Question 3. How many games went to overtime in last year's NFL playoffs?
Oh, jeez. Well, it certainly wasn't the Vikings and Rams game. First round to overtime. I don't think any of them did. Not that I can remember. Yeah, I feel like we would have talked about that more. I'm going to go with 0. Final answer.
Final question. Which team defeated the LA Chargers 32-12 in the wild card round last postseason?
That'd be the Houston Texans. Final answer.
Okay. Let's see if Marsh was thrown off by the old random call. How many different NFL teams did Chris Long play for? Cody, you said 3. Marsh, you said 3. Correct answer is...
It is 3.
Nice job, guys. Neither of you needed the options. Who was the last non-quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP? Cody, you said Cooper Kupp. Marsh, you said Cooper Kupp. Correct answer is...
It is Cooper Kupp.
But Marsh did not need the options for that one, so he has a 4-3 lead over Cody. How many games went to overtime in last year's NFL playoffs? Cody, you said 0. Marsh, you said 0. Correct answer is...
That's 0.
But Marsh didn't need the options on that one. So Marsh with a 6-4 lead. With which team defeated the LA Chargers 32-12 in the wild card round this past season? Cody, you said the Baltimore Ravens. Marsh, you said the Houston Texans. Correct answer is...
It is the Houston Texans.
Cody.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Here's the thing. When you lie about being a bad person, the Gauntlet knows, man. You're clearly a good human being. You're a good dude, which is why Marsh beat you 8-4.
Yeah, that's a good showing, Marsh. No shame in that game right there.
I appreciate it, and I'm glad that we have one more great person walking the streets of St. Louis.
Absolutely. Well said, Marsh. Well said. Cody, don't hang your head, man. You got 3 out of the 4 correct, but Marsh was on a bit of a heater.
He was. Yep. Better luck next time.
Yep. Nice try, Cody. Thanks.
Good job,
Cody.
Yep. Thanks. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Marshy with an 8 spot. He cleared the board.
Very nice.
8. Cody, 4.
You even tried to trip me up, too.
I did initially, then I untripped you, but then you tripped yourself. Mm-hmm. It's one of those deals. Kind of like Mark Scheifele, you know what I mean? Where he's got the puck. He's tripping, he's fooling around with it.
You launch into him.
You know, you're Schleifele there, and I hammer you. I'm Shen, and then I back off.
Yeah.
And you go to the box.
And then I go to the box. Yeah. It was you that.
And I'm still here.
Yeah.
That means I get to leave at 5 o'clock today?
No. Absolutely not. Nope.
And not show up tomorrow?
And you know who to blame.
The naked guy that didn't wear his blue shirt yesterday.
Who do we blame?
Ollie Marmol.
Jamie, that's correct.
Okay.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Do you want to do Prove Me Wrong? Or do you want to do the Hellebuyck? Your call, Marsh, after you just posted an 8 spot.
Man, I want to get into this Hellebuyck situation.
Did Connor Hellebuyck find his groove? We'll tell you why he didn't. Well, actually, we don't know. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Kakko, 2-on-1 shorthanded. Walker to Sundqvist. Walker to Sundqvist. He shoots it wide of the goal.
I think Hellebuyck got a stick on that. What an absolute game-saving save right there for Connor Hellebuyck.
All right, that was the sounds from last night's game. Chris Kerber and Joe Vitale on the call for the Blues Radio Network right here on 101 at ESPN. It's a fast lane. Did Connor Hellebuyck find his groove last night? Hellebuyck certainly was a massive storyline following Game 4 in which he was pulled, and there was the discussion about him changing in the locker room, and then he had the goofball comments about how he studies more film on goaltending than anybody in the world.
He might have not been wrong.
Oh, yeah, he was superb last night on the one shot he faced. I don't know if he found his groove back. I don't think you could tell from last night. He hasn't. Credit the Jets. He hasn't been tested in the 3 games in Winnipeg. Did he find his groove back? We'll find out if tomorrow if he got it back, because now he's got to come back to Enterprise Center, where Blues fans were lodged square in his domicile, and then we'll find out if the guy has figured some things out.
Did you all hear, and maybe I'm mistaken, but it sounded like the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, they were saying Jordan to start the game. Yeah.
I love it.
I did too. I thought it was pretty cool.
You're going to find out that Binnington loves that stuff.
Yeah, he's a psycho.
You have the fragile goaltender, not us.
The reason why I asked this is because the save he made, I believe it was on Sonny. I think it was Walker over to Sonny, and it was an outstanding
save.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, that was.
And so that to me is a person that is dialed. That's the Vezina Trophy winner that you assume that he's going to be. That's a person that's dialed in, locked in completely, and shutting the door, not allowing anything to happen. But then he allows the pretty soft goal by Snuggerud, where I don't know how it's just sneaks past his leg and past the post and goes in, but it did. But I think this could be a concern. I think the Blues do need to get more shots on him. I think the volume. I think when he has a lot of volume, I think he kind of tunes out a little bit for whatever reason. I think some would say you would be more engaged, but when he has a lot of volume, he tends to let in goals.
Poop his drawers.
Yeah. So I think you do need to find a way to get more shots on goal, staying in front of them, and just creating havoc. But that save made me think about that, because that was an outstanding save, and that's a save from obviously a really good goalie.
Yeah, when he made that save, I was watching it and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
But if it's within you to shrink in those moments, then that's always there, right? I mean, CD, you're the professional athlete in the room. Did you feel that way about certain players, where if the moment was too big, they could have moments where they played well or had a good game or even a good series, but if the moment was inevitably too big, that was going to shine through in the end?
You know that there are some guys that get rattled. Like whether it's a quarterback that if you get too early, you hit him, he's going to be looking at the rush. He's not going to be worried about what's going on downfield. Some players allow you to talk them out of their game. So you do know which players are going to lose focus and no longer be dialed in. But then there are some of those guys, like for me, it's interesting to watch him play, because what he is in the regular season. You know that he has the capability to be the best goalie in the world. But then sometimes you're looking at him like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So with him, it's a coin toss, because you don't know which version is going to show up in the playoffs. Regular season you do, but in the playoffs not really.
I think there's even more pressure now on Connor Hellebuyck that they have a chance to close this series out. And we know what his stats are as of recent on the road, right? They're not good. They're not good at all. So if you lose that game, then you go into a winner-take-all on home ice where you're expected to win, because all of the home teams up until that point, if the Blues get it done, when the Blues get it done tomorrow night, then there's that added pressure of I need to deliver in this Game 7. Otherwise, this whole narrative will continue on and it'll be latched onto me for my entire career until otherwise.
I think, too, this is, Marsh, you had kind of mentioned this a couple of minutes ago. I think the most important factor when we're talking about Hellebuyck is the Blues. and whether or not they can consistently create shots, get in front of the net, get past this Winnipeg defense. Now, Jamie described it as the swarming defense in Game 1 and Game 2. The Blues made some adjustments in order to find some space and fire more pucks at the net. But they go back to Winnipeg, and it wasn't the case. They also didn't possess the puck much, especially in the first and second periods. Like, they just didn't have the puck, and there was way too much time spent in their defensive zone. So I think
passing it into skates.
Well, that doesn't help.
It's driving me crazy.
To your point there, and I think we've kind of glossed over this in terms of like the adjustments and whatnot. I've noticed that Winnipeg has been dumping the puck in differently too. If you noticed last night,
right?
They're rimming that puck off the glass. Like last night, Jordan Binnington maybe came out just a few times to, break up a puck behind the net and turn it into a clean exit for the Blues. So you have to give Winnipeg credit on that front, too, and that's why the Blues were hemmed in their own zone for most of the game and couldn't get those opportunities to go the other way and sustain offensive zone time because they were in their own zone the entire time.
Right. Yeah, that's a good observation. I think they're trying to get the puck to the corners, too, more, which is what Jamie was
Soft
talking about.
chips into the corner, cross-corner dump-ins.
And why wouldn't you? If you know that Binnington is so good with the puck that he can create breakouts for the Blues, you've got to be more cautious with the puck. Now, I don't know how the Blues counter that, but this has been a series about adjustments. So now coming back here, if you know that the Jets are going to try to figure out a way that Binnington doesn't touch the puck more, I don't know, Marcia, is there a schematic way that you can figure out how to reverse that?
I mean, you're going to dump the puck in regardless.
Sure.
They just
have to be accurate with it.
I mean, it really comes down to how Winnipeg is getting the puck in the zone. If they're rimming that puck off the glass and it's going around, and Binnington has knocked pucks out of midair that have gone around the glass, but he's not going to do it every single time.
Right.
So maybe get more pressure on them so they mess up, or I'm not too sure, but either way, they have to get more ozone time. And that starts with getting the puck out of the zone, because we can't talk about Connor Hellebuyck being this soft goaltender if you're not throwing pucks on net.
Right.
That was something that Jamie brought up a couple days ago about the Blues when they were winning these games at home. They were just firing pucks on net from weird angles. And they didn't do that enough last night.
No. It comes down to back check, forecheck, paycheck.
Absolutely. It's also, though, like, this could be, and it would be unfortunate, every team has to exercise those demons at some point. Now, they don't have to, but
Exercise the demons.
I have exercised the demons.
What's that from?
Ace Ventura.
Carey.
Oh, that's right.
Ace Ventura, when he goes... Roger Podacter came home last night.
But, this could be one of those things where the Jets, they find it, right? Like that happened with the Blues. The Blues, they were struggling to win playoff series, and then they finally beat the Blackhawks. And then what happens after that? You go to the Western Conference Final, and then a few years later, you win the Stanley Cup. Like, who's to say that this couldn't be the Jets' opportunity? But I think it starts with Connor Hellebuyck. But in reality, it comes down whether or not are the Blues going to be in front of the net? Are they going to throw pucks on net? We'll see.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. There's no way that woman heard that scream from across the... It's awesome. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. You can tee off with the morning after at the return of the Dotem Golf Tournament presented by Michelob Ultra, May 29th and 30th at Oak Valley Golf Course and Resort. You can get your foursome together for a full day out on the course with TMA, including complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, all your Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, a long drive contest courtesy of Pondoff's Anonymous Recovery Podcast, and an after party with food from Texas Roadhouse on Thursday and Super Smokers Barbecue on Friday. Registration is now open with a portion of proceeds benefiting the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. Find out all the Dotem info now at 101ESPN.com. We do need to do a new Bet the Board draft. So if you want to play Bet the Board, you can text in 314-399-9646. While you're doing that, also send us some Sports Six-Pack questions. We can never figure out how to time this up, Marsh. You can also send in your questions to our Comfort Service tax line, 314-399-9646.
I got an idea, Anthony.
What's your idea?
Send in your Bet the Board, but send in that question as well.
Smart.
Yes.
That's smart. Way to go, Marsh. Part 1 of the Sixer next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals fall to the Cincinnati Reds today, 9-1, the final score after the Cardinals put down their own beating on the Reds last night, 9-1. So they split the series. We will talk some more Cardinals throughout the show, and maybe we'll get into it with our Sports Six-Pack, which is coming up next. So if you have a Cardinals-related question or any question, it could be sports, could be anything, make sure you text into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. The Blues lose Game 5 last night by a final score of 5-3. Game 6 will be tomorrow night right here in St. Louis at the Enterprise Center, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We have part 1 of our Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Before we get to question 1 in our part 1 six-pack, we've got Michael on the line, and Michael has the first overall pick for the month of May when it comes to Bet the Board. What's up, Michael?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much. Appreciate you playing. Thanks for listening. Would you like, since you have the first pick, you have everybody available to you, would you like Marsh, Carey, Jamie, or me for the month of Bet the Board?
So I didn't catch it. How did things shake out last month? Who got last place?
That would be Jamie.
Jamie. Okay, give me Jamie.
Okay, I like the strategy. He's the do factor.
Do.
That's right.
Okay.
Cyclical.
There you go. All right, Michael. Well, you'll be paired up with Jamie when it comes to his Bet the Board picks throughout the month of May.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thanks for playing, and thanks for listening.
Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All righty. There you go. Michael just selected Jamie. Interesting approach there from Michael, but I don't hate it.
Me neither.
I don't hate it.
Yep.
All right.
What you got to do.
Yes, sir. Air Comfort Service tax line 314-399-9646. Marsh, hit us with question 1, please.
Question number 1.
All right, from the 816, what's better for St. Louis fans, a Stanley Cup or a World Series championship? What do you think the fans need this year?
All of the above. Both. A and B. I don't know if you can have
just pick one, though.
I don't know if you can have a better when you're talking about winning a championship. If one of your teams in your city wins the championship, I think that's a win-win.
Yeah, but that's not the question, though.
Which team? Okay, let's
needs it more.
The Blues, because they are closer.
Yeah, I feel like,
and more likely.
Boy, this is tricky when you get to talking about deserving, but I feel like the Blues deserve it more.
Yeah.
Like they drafted well, they made savvy moves.
They worked their tails off to get to this spot.
They gave fans kind of like there was just that muddling feeling. Yeah. I kept describing it as being chained to 500, tethered to 500. They got a 12-game winning streak when we didn't even know if they would win 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Montgomery is likable, very likable.
Mm-hmm.
The young players have come up and made it an instant impact. So I think the Blues they've deserved it more. Now, if the Cardinals win it, you can't say that they didn't deserve it. But they decided not to participate in the offseason. I understand why.
You don't agree with it, though.
Oh, I agree with it.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're okay with them, just punting on free agents this offseason? Saying fast lane it, we go with our guys?
Walrus King says the question wasn't who deserves it more. I know. You back off.
What was the question? Who deserves it more?
Who needs it more?
The St. Louis fans, which one do they need more?
Blues.
I would disagree. I would disagree with that. I think people are yearning for a World Series.
I think people are frustrated about the Cardinals.
Yeah, World Series would help that.
Yeah. When they haven't done anything.
How about this? The Raphael Archangel says, Blues deserve it, but Cardinals need it.
It's interesting.
I can go with that.
I can go with that too. Yeah. Kerry, you did ask me something though.
I have no clue.
You asked you had said and you're okay with that. I'm okay with them not spending. Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't want to see. Here's why.
You are the same person that hates the Dodgers for spending too much, and then on the opposite end, you're okay with a team not spending anything.
I'm not okay with the team not spending anything.
They didn't.
But I understand.
They were forced to. But I got a phone call in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. This is the commissioner's office.
When the Pirates,
why have you not signed anyone?
When the Pirates don't do it, and they don't do it year after year after year after year, yeah, that's gross to me. But the Cardinals realizing that signing a bunch of average free agents.
Why do they have to be average? Why can't you go above average?
They only get average free agents.
Well, then that's a them problem, and
exactly.
They need to do better.
So you want me to sign on that? Like, go ahead, keep doing what you're doing.
No.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great.
I want you to tell them to be better and sign better players.
Be better,
Only
Cardinals.
You
sign
can
better.
Do it.
Sign better players, Cardinals.
Thank you. It's done.
I don't think that's how it
You're
works.
You're the voice of the people, Anthony.
I'm
it's
not.
Done. No, you are.
You know that.
These people listen to you from 2 to 6 every day. You are the voice of the people.
Do you speak for St. Louis?
I do not.
He does. No, he does.
St. Louis can speak for themselves.
No, need you to do it. That's why you're on these airwaves.
They did want you to hold the Cardinals accountable.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see you standing outside of Busch Stadium with a sign protesting everything that they do.
You're right. My fault.
Yeah.
The Cardinals' issues are my fault. I'm getting it.
Thank you.
I'm getting it now. All right. Question 2, please.
Question number 2.
All right, this one comes from Michael, who did listen to the assignment. He texted in for Bet the Board and had a question for the Sports Six Pack.
Nice.
That being,
follow through.
Do the Cardinals still trade pieces this summer if they're still in the playoff hunt?
Well, let's take off the last part of that. And first part, yes.
You're saying that because they won't be in the playoff hunt?
I don't think so.
Yeah. My question is,
I don't think that
what's the playoff hunt? A game out of the wild card?
No, because they were in the playoff hunt last year and didn't make any moves.
Mm-hmm.
They made moves. They added players. They didn't, they didn't go in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope that they have a realistic understanding of what this ball club is. And like last year, I think they felt, man, we could win a championship. And we're right there in the playoff hunt. No, you're not. You are, but you're not. There's like 6 other teams right there, and then the Mets shot right past you, waved at you as the dust kicked up on you. See ya, gotta go. And everybody else was just moving along.
Mm-hmm.
And you stood right there, even after you made the trades. So I would hope that I would hope it's definitive enough to where there is no light bulb that goes off and someone says, we can actually do it. Sit down.
Shut your mouth. No, yeah. Again, what is in the playoff hunt? Michael poses a good question. It's going to be one that we're going to answer as we approach the deadline. But does that mean the Cardinals are 1 game out of the wild card? They're 1 game out of the division. Are they under 500, but everybody else also stinks? So that's the only reason why they're in it. If that's the case, and somebody comes calling for some of your movable assets, and they're willing to give you something for it, you trade them.
I agree. This season has been kind of weird, though.
Was that question 3, Marsh?
That was 2.
Thank you, Carey.
No problem.
Question number 3.
There it is.
All right, this next one comes from the Water Boy. What is the most annoying thing a fan can do during a sporting event? be on their phone, ? Loud conversations, yell,
clear the puck!
Every time their team has the puck. What do you think it is, gentlemen?
That's just good advice, that last one. Most annoying
Are we talking from I have a different perspective. From a player's perspective, it is being downright disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, there are some things you can say that are funny and kind of makes you chuckle. And there are some things that if we were walking down Olive Boulevard and you said that to me, you'd probably get punched in the mouth. And so knowing, like, some fans feel that they are protected by their fandom. And I'm just giving, if you wouldn't say it to me face to face or in passing, it's probably not something you should say from 30 feet away. Because I can run fast. I'm strong. I might kick your ass. I don't know.
No telling what I would do.
Not telling.
Yeah.
So,
I was just joking, man. I was just joking.
Bet you were.
I think being like completely obnoxious is rough. You know, like I think that if they're relentless about, you know, if there's a bunch of kids around and they're just cursing up a storm relentlessly, like I'm not talking about one or two times, but they're just really super obnoxious.
Yeah, that is.
You can't, you know, you're not able to watch the game as much because you're just listening to this. You know
got
what?
Your kids around.
Yeah,
and they think because they paid a ticket, they can be extremely rude and disrespectful, or like you said, cussing people out, cussing the opposing team. Like, just have some
little awareness
about
some respect. Like Kristen and I always tell the kids, like, look, those are adult words, and that person's an adult. They can use them. You can't. But if it's just all the time, then it just takes away from the experience. Plus, if the kids are like, you know, why is he angry? That sucks. So that's the most annoying thing to me. Marsh, you got one?
I think that's probably my biggest irk. It makes me cringe a little bit. You're like, all right, like let's have some situational awareness here.
Yeah.
I don't really care about phones. People can do whatever they want.
People are on their phones all the time anyways.
Yeah, I think like if I'm at a game and there's a point in the game where the fans should be engaged, I think that bothers me when they're not. Because I feel like the players feed off of that energy. So, and who knows, you know, some fans have it, some fans don't. I think there's a lot of critique for like Toronto Maple Leafs fans that, you know, they call them the suits because they almost like price out their hardcore fans because it's so expensive to go to these games. And all of a sudden it's like the people that, I'm just kind of there to take a picture on Instagram. I don't really care. That stuff kind of bothers me.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Keep those questions coming in. We'll have part 2 of our six-pack next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
Before we get to part 2 of our Sports Six-Pack, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Time for our next contestant to draft one of us for Bet the Board in the month of May, and he is Mason. What's up, Mason?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing the month of May for Bet the Board. Jamie is off the board. He went first, so you have Marsh, Carey, or me to pick. Who would you like to follow for Bet the Board?
All right, so I actually met CD a few months ago. He's a real stand-up guy, super nice guy, so I think I'm going to go with my guy here, CD.
Carey Davis.
All right, Mason, let's do it. Let's get it done.
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right, Mason, congrats. You got CD for the month. Just follow his picks, and if he wins, you get a one-on-one ESPN prize pack when it's all said and done.
Awesome. I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you.
No, thanks, Mason. We appreciate you.
Of course. I'll see you guys.
See ya. Boy, I would not want you to face Mason Marsh in
like a really nice
the Gauntlet.
guy.
Yeah. I mean, you'd go 8 Cobb against him because he sounds like a really nice dude.
Absolutely.
You do him like you did, who was it today?
Cody.
Yeah. 8-4. Yeah. Cody didn't have a chance.
No, he
Cody's a
didn't.
really good guy. Tried to tell us he wasn't.
Yeah, he faked.
He's a great guy.
Tried to do the old play fake.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
What?
You know.
The Air Comfort Service Stocks line is 314-399-9646. So if you have a question, you still got a couple left to go here for the part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack. Marsh, take it away.
Question number 4.
All right, from Thrill Fan 22. Fellas, with the draft recently completed, who do you think will have the biggest immediate impact on their teams? Is it Genty with the Raiders, Hunter with the Jags, McMillan with the Panthers, or is it somebody else?
Well, I mean, the biggest impact on their team is going to be Cam Ward because he's going to touch the ball every damn play. If just going chalk is going to be the quarterback that is going to start from day one.
Right.
They don't have anyone there. You know, they've been drafting quarterbacks for a few years now in Tennessee. And hell, Cam Ward received Warren Moon's approval to wear number 1. Brought him to Jersey himself.
That's awesome.
So, for me, it's going to be Cam Ward. Other than that, if you're looking like non-quarterback, man, some in the first round.
Well, I think I also take the question as who do you think is going to make like a big impact?
Yeah,
not
like
just,
this season.
Yeah, like have a good like
Rookie
Jaden
of the
Daniels,
year.
right?
Rookie of the year. I would say. I mean, it would probably if I don't know what the odds are, but if you looked at the odds, I would assume that Travis Hunter has the best odds to win Rookie of the Year, playing 2 positions.
Boy, if he's not,
you should jump on that.
Yeah. But I mean, if he better be, he better make an impact.
Right. It would probably be Travis Hunter.
They gave to go up and get him.
I'm intrigued. I don't know why. I'm intrigued by Loveland with the Bears.
Really?
Yeah. They got so many weapons. It's going to be hard to guard all of those guys. Like Ben Johnson has taken the mindset that he had, obviously what he had with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
The tight end, Laporta. You had Jameson Williams. You had Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got a lot. You got DeAndre Swift. I mean, not DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is with him now. You had the running backs, Gibbs and Montgomery. You got a lot of weapons there. So, yeah.
By the way, Genty is the leader.
Really?
In terms of odds, yeah, to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Cam Ward is, so Genty is plus 200, Ward is plus 230, Travis Hunter is plus 750. Tyler Show is plus 1,200.
Tyler Show. Show should not be on that board.
I think that Genty...
You didn't like his combine throw?
I don't. So the combine throw was whatever. I don't worry about that. Real football, there's a play out there where he is being sacked and he throws the ball underhand to the damn defender. Like, what are you doing, man?
We call that the old Will Levis.
I don't think Will Levis ever did anything.
He tried. He would have.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Oh, what didn't he do?
He did do that.
Yeah.
And threw it to the other team.
There was a play for week 1 against the Bears that he
I think that's the
mucked
one.
up. And then the following week, I think he had some.
They knew then. Yep.
Yeah. I'll go with Genty because I'll go with Genty, and then I'll go with, assuming he's going to get some carries in a crowded backfield, Hampton with the Chargers.
Omari and Hampton?
Yeah, because I feel like
they do have a lot of. They got Najee Harris.
Yep.
They brought back. Was it Gus or the other one? J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, who had a really good year for them last year.
And he got hurt again.
Yep.
Missed some time. Not season ending, but.
But I think that running back is one of the easiest positions. Not the easiest position. Let me rephrase here. I think that running back is one of the positions that transfers the best to the NFL. You like, if you can't pass protect, you're not going to be on the field. You've illustrated that, but I feel like with running back.
What about Abdul Carter at DN?
I feel like
because they got some pass rushers. In New York.
I feel like it's the defensive ends take a little while. So I'll go with the 2 running backs.
All right.
Question number 5.
From the 618, what team and fan base has the biggest crybabies? And why is it the Jets?
Oh, crybabies.
Or
I
New
feel
York.
like you could go either way on that one.
Well, I don't think the New York Jets have crybaby fans.
Yeah, they do, Anthony. They stink. They cry about it all the time.
Oh no, they're very aware of how bad they stink, and they don't. They just kind of get it, you know. The biggest crybaby fans.
I mean, what fan base is kind of they are entitled? They Dallas Cowboys. It's Cowboys, hands down.
That whine?
Yeah. You ain't never seen them. They every year they are going to win the Super Bowl. No, they haven't done it in 30 years now. Is that right?
I think Splashback Deuce said it best when he said Dodgers, every year they lose, they want to change the rules.
What rule they change?
All of them.
Why? Because they're good now?
No.
They ain't changing the rules.
I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. Like whining. We all whine. Bruins is a good one, though. Bacon wrap wiener. Bruins. I like that.
We just had someone from the 314 text in, and I just said, yeah, hey, you'll be on Bet the Board. And then I immediately saw a text that said the Blues fans are crybabies. And I go, wait, whoa.
So are you now saying that it can't be?
We may need an explanation from this person whenever they come on.
Okay. Interesting.
You know, we'll keep them accountable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I'll go Bruins fans and Dodgers. Dodgers and Bruins.
What about the Avalanche?
Yeah, they're crybabies. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Shame on you.
On who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
Any chance you get to go against the Dodgers, you do.
Every time. I make that clear, though. I hate
every single time.
I'm not hiding the fact that I hate your team.
Why did the Dodgers hurt you?
I don't like them.
Why?
I don't have to like them.
What have they done to hurt you?
I don't like their uniforms. I definitely don't like their stadium. I don't like their fans. And I think what they do is too easy. We'll just buy all the best players.
Good call, Anthony.
Thank you.
Question number 6.
Thank you, Margie.
From the 314, is Jordan Kyrou's disappearance the biggest disappointment of the Blues postseason?
No, the biggest disappointment is the injury to Dylan Holloway, hands down.
That's a good one.
That's the biggest disappointment, and not to his own fault or anybody else's, but just knowing what he provided for this team when he was healthy. That's the biggest disappointment in my eyes. Because it's going to be what could have been if it doesn't turn. And even if he doesn't, even if they do win this series, like it's still going to be, no matter how far they go, what could have been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could have been much easier, even if you win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest one.
I like that one. I last night's game overall, I thought was a big disappointment. given the fact that you had the Jets up against the ropes, if you win that one, Winnipeg was not going to want to come down here in an elimination game against them.
Yeah.
Now they're set up to, now the Blues have to force a Game 7, and if they do so, and I think they will, but if they do so, they're going to have to go back up to Winnipeg for Game 7. So Jordan Kyrou certainly has been disappointing. They need more out of him, but I think you're right in the Holloway. And if I'm just going to a game, I think last night's game was the biggest disappointment. Okay. All right, we have Blues mic drops. You left them. We'll play them next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. 5:05, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Before we get into your Blues mic drops, we have a special contestant for Bet the Board in the month of May. He's Ed, or if you're a member of the Snake Pit, he's known as Bacon Wrap Wiener. What's up, Ed?
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Doing great. Appreciate you listening and watching via the YouTube and the Snake Pit. So love that you're going to play Bet the Board, man.
First time, and I feel a winner coming.
I do too. Now, you only have two options, though, so this is very important. So Jamie was selected first. CD just went off the board. So it's down to me and Marsh. Who would you like to back?
Well, it's Anthony. It's funny that you say you feel the same because I was actually going to pick Marsh.
Okay, all right, good.
Let's go.
So Marsh and the Wiener is they're for month of May.
I have been a stan of the bacon wrapped wiener at Busch Stadium, so it only makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah. Ed, I think you went with the right choice, my man. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll see you around the Snake Pit.
See you around. Good luck.
Good luck.
You too. Yes. Wictolia says, I feel a wiener coming.
I like that.
See what you did there, Wictolia.
A winner.
Wiener.
Yeah, I know.
Winner,
bacon wrapped wieners.
That's right.
Love them at Busch Stadium.
All around. Yep. Okay, so whoever is the final contestant for Bet the Board, you'll be paired with me. So if you want to bypass because you don't want to go with me, then wait for June and maybe you'll have another chance. Or if you're cool with it, text in, and if you get chosen, then you'll be with me.
Oh, it's going to be the person. Vic is his name. He said,
Vic.
Yeah, that's who you're paired with.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's a done deal.
Well, yeah, like Vic is the one that said
he'll do it.
That the Blues fans are the biggest crybabies.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have Vic on. He's going to have to explain himself, and then him and I become an arranged marriage for May.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bet the Board. All right. Marsh, I know you had some issues with the mic drops in terms of the names.
Yes,
so
the names
unfortunately we
weren't
don't.
popping up.
Yeah, for whatever reason our system isn't showing the name for the mic drop. So if this is you, sorry, but at least you have your mic drop played. So let's hear it for the first one on how they're feeling about the Blues.
This is my mic drop.
Sounds like Sharon.
We played our worst game against Winnipeg last night, and if you take the empty net goal away from Winnipeg, they only beat us by 1 goal. I think we got this.
I think that was Sharon.
I thought it was Lisa.
No, that's definitely not
That's
Lisa.
not Lisa.
No,
Yeah.
that would be a Cardinals statement.
This could even if it was, you're talking about the Blues, she'd be talking about Ollie.
This could be a fun game for us to try and guess who it is.
I think that's Sharon.
Have you
previously
all ever seen
from
that?
Glencoe?
Like the teachers will turn their back and they'll have the students come up and they'll say, "Hi, Mr. such and such," or "Hi, Mrs." And the teacher has to guess who the student is. You never seen that? It's pretty cool.
No.
Yeah, they do that.
They would feel awful if you. If
But the teachers
if the teachers didn't know.
But that means the teachers know. Like some of them they get really quick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's such and such. Oh, that's you. That's you. That's you. And then some of them they're like, say it again. And then they'll say it again because you learn people's personalities, how they speak.
I would hope that they would know.
Yeah.
The kids.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's like the first week, that's unfair.
Well, that'd be bad.
But the end of the year,
yeah,
you should know, right?
What did you think of the mic drop? I felt that way a little bit the first two games, but not so much last night. I thought Winnipeg could have won that game by like 5 goals.
Last night?
Yeah.
I thought last night, out of the 3 that they played in Winnipeg, that was the game where I felt that the Jets had dominated the majority of the game.
You all failed. Sharon and Clayton said that wasn't me, guys.
Oh, no.
It's a shame. Shameful.
Sorry.
Maybe this one will be a little bit easier.
Okay.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Just want to let you know that this is not the end, Blues fans. As a Hartford Whalers fan, I know what the end looks like, and
Carey
it's
knows
pretty
that.
bleak.
I know what that is.
Because let me tell you something. When your team leaves for the hockey hotbed of Raleigh, North Carolina, that hurts. Now, I do want to let you know that you are going to win tomorrow night because there's no way that the Blues don't carry the day to get back to Winnipeg, where Marsh and I will probably jump on a pack of Canadian killer cobra chickens, also known as geese, take that Flying V right up to Winnipeg because your boys need to win 2 games, and who knows how to win 2 games better than good old Chester. Aren't I right, CD? Toodaloo, you hockey hooligans.
That was our guy, Chester.
This is going to be, listen, I will not rest until I play Chester again and beat the hell out of him. He is literally making sure of it. It is the best troll job I have ever witnessed. Damn it, Chester. I appreciate hats off to you, man. Hats off.
There's nothing you can do. He's beat you twice in the gauntlet, and he's letting you hear about it. And there's nothing you can do to respond.
I'm not even mad. It's funny. It's hilarious. But I won't rest, Anthony. And if he beats me again, well, damn it, we got to line it up again and go again. Yeah.
I need to hear this again.
Your boys need to win 2 games, and who knows how to win 2 games better than good old Chester? Aren't I right, CD?
He is like the perfect villain.
He is. He is your villain.
He is the perfect villain.
He is your villain. There's no question about it.
He's got like a villainy voice, too.
He does. Yeah.
When he speaks. But not like I want to, not like a Thanos type, like where I just want to, snap half the life away. But it's, it's like dubious, you know?
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's excellent. You're right. It is an amazing troll job. Yeah. All right, let's get to one more.
Just saying, Hellebuyck was not on his game last night. I mean, for a guy with over 900 easy save percentage throughout the regular season, he only saved 16 of 19 shots on goal. I mean, yeah, granted, he gave up great save, great effort on that one-timer, I think, from Sundqvist, where he got his stick out, but Sonny shot it right into his stick. He didn't have to really do much. But then Snuggerud comes down and just kind of squeaks one toward the near post, and he doesn't even know what he's doing anymore. Like, the guy's not all there. He flashed some brilliance last night, but he's still soft. I don't know. I'm interested to see what Friday looks like. I think the Blues are going to come out firing, and they're going to rattle him early. At least I hope so. But anyway, my 2 cents.
I agree about the Hellebuyck comment. I'm in line with our caller there.
Who do we think that is?
I don't know. He kind of sounded like the guy that always at the end, he goes, but I don't know. Hockey.
No, that's Ed.
Oh, that's Bacon?
Yeah.
Oh.
He'll have like a minute-long mic drop and then be like, yeah, I actually didn't watch the game last night.
Yeah, that's right. Damn. I agree. I agree about the Hellebuyck comment. If you get next to no shots on him, you can't say like, oh well, he turned it around. He found his game. You didn't test him. Game 1, game 2, didn't test him. 3 and 4, you tested him, and you got rattled, and you got pulled in both games.
You got after him.
He has yet to stand on his head. He has yet to have a good game.
So the job that you need to do is just get more shots. Attack him. Get after him.
Go get it.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard that one? That mic drop?
I have not.
Oh, man. There was somebody that left us a mic drop at the trade deadline, 2 years ago, Marsh?
I think it was the Juan Soto.
Oh.
And he was very passionate, speaking out the Cardinals need to go out and get him. And this is, he had a whole bunch of reasons. And at the very end, he said this.
Go get it.
That's Buffalo Bill, as we name him.
I like it. He meant that.
He did.
Yeah.
We were terrified. Like we were falling in line.
He was probably right.
I guess. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Thank you for the Scott Lee Heating Company mic drops. It's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Let's do a little Prove Me Wrong. 314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. Send in your Prove Me Wrongs. These are statements that you want either CD or I to prove you wrong on. Like, I don't know. Connor Hellebuyck did find his game, and the Blues are in trouble. Like, we could easily prove you wrong on that. Or not. I don't know. Marsh is the judge, too. Depends on how he's feeling. All right. Prove me wrong next.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
Before we get to Prove Me Wrong, we have one final contestant for Bet the Board in the month of May. He's Vic. He slammed Blues fans earlier, and he is going to be with me since I'm the last one off the board. Vic, how are you?
Okay. Thanks, Anthony. In honor of Chris Duncan, the month of May is going to be our month. It's me and Duncan's birthday month. We're going to get it done.
Absolutely, yeah. Happy birthday, happy heavenly birthday to our guy Chris Duncan. It's May 5th, so I love that, Vic. Absolutely. And you were just joking about the Blues fans, right? Being whiners.
Oh yeah, just joking about them.
Okay, all right, good. I appreciate some good hyperbole, Vic. We're going to get along real well. Hey, let's do this. Let's dedicate this one to Dunk.
Yep.
All right, Vic. Thanks, pal.
Good. I miss our buddy Dunk. I wear his T-shirt all the time on his birthday. You know. And even though I might not always agree with what you guys say, I do enjoy your show all the time.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank
And, when it comes to different opinions and things like that, that's what makes the world go round.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Vic.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Take care. Thanks.
See you, Anthony. Bye.
See you. All right. There you have it. So, Bet the Board. Yeah, I like that. Dedicating it to Dunk. All right. Michael chose Jamie first. Mason chose CD second. Ed, also known as Bacon Wrapped Wiener, chose Marsh, and Vic and I got paired up together for Bet the Board. Now, we switch gears to the courtroom.
Yes.
Judge Andrew Marsh is behind the bench. He's going to read off the first case, and CD or I will pick up said first case for Prove Me Wrong. What do we got, Marsh?
All right, from the 314, Prove Me Wrong. The guy from yesterday should have stuck with the blue home jersey. For once, I blame something on someone other than Ollie Marmol.
No, you got to switch it up. The trends were there.
Mm-hmm.
The trends were there in Winnipeg. 0-2 with that exact sweater.
Yeah.
Now, did the Blues win at home on home ice because of that sweater? Yes, sure. But you can't go back to it knowing that it's 0-2. The person made the right decision to switch it up. It just was the wrong jersey. So I can't lay last night's loss at the feet of that decision and that person. It's inhumane. And I won't stand for it.
I think you're right, Anthony.
Thank you.
I think it maybe had something to do with the guys that were on the ice.
Judge, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It was a bad decision, though. I just want to put the full blame on him.
Okay, yeah, fair.
But that's on us, too. We gave him the advice.
Sure.
And you talked me out of the blue jersey. What's going on, Carey? You got something to say? You got something to say?
Let's check in the
It is hot.
heater.
It is very hot.
It is hot.
I'll turn it down. Go ahead, read the next case. I'll turn it. I agree, though.
From the 618, Prove Me Wrong. Major League Baseball should have an 8-team playoff with top 2 division teams and 2 wild cards making it to the playoffs.
Say that again. Judge, please.
Prove Me Wrong. Major League Baseball should have an 8-team playoff with top 2 division teams and 2 wild cards making it into the playoffs.
So 16 teams total?
Yes.
How many teams in the Major League?
No, I think it's just 8.
What?
8-team playoff?
It would have to be in the same league, right?
8 in each league.
8 in each league?
Maybe 4.
Oh.
Right?
I'm confused.
Well, okay, Judge, you make a decision
please.
on that. And then
I'm kind of confused on this right now.
Because I was assuming 8 per league, which would be 16.
You can't.
I get it. Okay, so it would be 16.
Yeah,
it'd be
that makes
16
because you have to have the.
So you'd have 6 from the divisions and then 2 wild cards. So top 2 in each division. You get 2
Top
teams
2 in each division. Okay.
from the Central, West, and East.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just rewarding half of the league with an opportunity to win the championship? No, hell no. Who wants to do that? Right? 16 teams. It's only 30 in the league. That's more than half.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give all of those teams, some of those teams are going to be under 500, I guarantee. And nobody wants to watch that. They're going to get smoked. You know what you get for winning the division? You are the division winner. You don't get
hang a
2.
banner.
You don't get 2 division winners. You don't say, oh, both of these teams. No, one team wins. The other team, you either wild card or you should have been better. You don't like it? Play better. You stink, more than likely. But more than likely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, however, if Major League Baseball expands, I don't mind the 16 teams because we get that in other sports. Wouldn't mind it, you know? I personally, I liked it where it was the 3 teams and then 1 wild card. I like that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Puts an emphasis on the regular season.
I don't think that what they're doing is wrong. I like the fact that more teams are in it, but Judge, I respect your viewpoint.
All right. Speaking of stinking, from Grant Francis Fan Club, the Rizzuto Show said earlier this week that you all have made their old office stink ever since you moved in. Prove them wrong.
Well, we certainly had an issue when it came to some old funky pineapple, but we have since removed said pineapple, and it smells just fine in our office.
Delightful.
It smells delightful.
What did you say it smelled like earlier, Carey?
I don't remember. Delightful.
Yeah, delightful. Yeah.
Is that right?
I thought you said it smelled like something, but it actually wasn't that thing.
I don't recall.
Probably a mixture of lavender and
maybe an herb.
Oh yeah, that was different.
Well, that was his
my
fake tiger bomb.
That was my ointment.
Yeah. And Judge, if I may, are we really going to take the word of a show that continues to not say that they're sponsored by the Fast Lane?
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Good call. Yeah.
Continue to break laws?
It's the law.
Yeah.
That is very disappointing.
Cough was the law.
No, radio rules is a law.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. We'll go with that.
Seriously, why aren't they doing that? Like, why didn't they do that?
Is it all year?
No, it's supposed to be just for 1 month.
Have they not done it yet?
I don't think they have. And where's the guy that counted all the times that we didn't do it? I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
You ready for this one, Anthony?
Ready.
From the 314, prove me wrong. New York / coal-fired style pizza is hands down better than Chicago deep dish.
Oh, New York style is? Yeah, Carey can handle this one. Tell him. Tell him.
Tell him, Wash.
New York style is better?
Yeah, so
No, nothing's better than Chicago deep dish. Except for Emo's Pizza. It's the only thing better.
That's why I wanted you to handle it. That's exactly why I wanted you to take that case. I was not fit for it. First of all, I love New York style pizza.
That's the long...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Floppy.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Fold it. It's great stuff.
A lot of bread.
No, the Chicago style is a lot of bread.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. No, it's already there. We don't have to see it. All right, that'll do it for Prove Me Wrong. We did quite well, CD.
Yeah, proud of us.
And thank you to the judge, Andrew Marsh, and thank you to listeners for submitting their cases.
I'm in a good mood today.
I feel like the longer we get away from the Game 5 loss, and further we get away from that, closer to Game 6, we're calm.
But I wasn't
and optimistic.
I wasn't. You remember how fired up I was a couple weeks ago when the Blues were losing? I'm not like that right now
because you've seen it.
I've seen them.
You saw Game 3 and Game 4.
I did. I liked it.
You're going to see Game 6.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's hand out some tickets, by the way. We have your shot to score a pair of tickets to see Post Malone with Jelly Roll on May 13th at Busch Stadium. You can text in with free tickets now at 314-399-9646. Tickets for Post Malone and Jelly Roll are now on sale, and you can find all the details and a bonus chance to register to win free tickets to the show at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Why isn't Jamie Rivers here? Why isn't Jamie Rivers here? There's a very specific reason why he is not here. Text in to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. And if you are the 101st texter with the correct answer, you will go see Post Malone and Jelly Roll on May 13th. We have Bet the Board next. Spring's in bloom, and so are the deals at Auto Centers Nissan. You've seen other dealers brag about huge inventory. Then you're going to make the drive all over town just to find the inventory. Not at Auto Centers Nissan. Over 800 new and used vehicles are all in one easy location right off I-55 in McNutt and Herculaneum. Just minutes from South County. No lot hopping, no headaches. And during their Bloom and Vroom sales event, you can score big with no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans, no payments for 3 months on used vehicles, a complimentary new car lifetime warranty, a 30-day new car return promise, and 3 oil changes included on every new Nissan. Even if your credit's been through a spring shower, their credit experts can help almost any situation. So it's time to bloom. Check out the reviews, then check out the deals at AutoCentersNissan.com. When you do head down in person to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan, where the inventory's big, the savings are bigger, and the nonsense is nowhere to be found.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues fall to the Jets in Game 5 last night by a final score of 5-3. Game 6 on home ice will be tomorrow night, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network, just go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We talked some Cardinals baseball as well today as they fell to the Cincinnati Reds. However, the Cardinals did split that series in Cincinnati, and they'll take on the New York Mets tomorrow. It should be a fun weekend here in St. Louis with the Blues, Battlehawks, Cardinals, You just got everybody playing, Anthony. It's going to be a fun weekend here in St. Louis. We have Bet the Board coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and it's time to play Bet the Board. All right, boys. You guys ready? New month. You guys using your parlay early? You gonna burn that puppy right out of the gates?
Not I.
Okay. That's something to think about. Boys, some tough choices. I'm gonna go back to the NHL. I'm gonna lay the 1.5 with Vegas. 1.5 on the puck line. It's like plus 174. Got to win by 2, but they're gonna win. I think it's going to be by 2 because it's an empty net situation. Minnesota's on the ropes. So give me Vegas minus 1.5.
I am going to go with the Toronto Maple Leafs money line minus 105. If they win, I win. If they lose, we all get a game 7.
That's true.
Man of the people.
I like that.
No, that's Anthony. He's the voice of the people.
No,
He's the voice of the people.
Oh, so you're the voice of the people. I'm the man of the people.
There you go.
Where's Carey?
We the people.
Am the people? I don't know.
The protector.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The protector of the people.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
I mean, if you need someone to, get hit,
Carey's your guy.
Carey's your guy.
Get hit or give a hit?
Give a hit.
No, I'm not getting hit no more.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. If you need someone to give a hit,
Yeah.
that's Carey.
I'd have ran into Stanley. I can tell you that. I'd have
Lord
lined
Stanley?
Nah, Logan. I lined him up.
Okay.
Can't skate a lick, but he didn't know. He just saw me coming.
Yes, sir.
He'd have ducked.
I like that.
Give me the New York Knicks plus 1.5.
So you don't like the Pistons tonight?
I don't. I kind of wanted to go. Well, no, not messing with it. Nope. I'm looking at that Nuggets Clippers game. That's so damn unpredictable.
Marsh, who did Jamie text in for his pick?
That's a good question, Anthony. It's a real good question. Let me look at it real quick while you guys
fraternize.
Yeah, fraternize.
Don't forget that you can join me and the 101 ESPN Street Team on Friday for a Game 6 watch party at Cafe Telegraph. So you can go enjoy some drinks, delicious food, enjoy the Blues game on all of their big screens. Also get registered to win 101 ESPN giveaways. Again, that's tomorrow night at Cafe Telegraph, which is located at 2650 Telegraph Road in South County. You can learn more about the Game 6 watch party with me, Anthony Stalter, and 101 ESPN at 101ESPN.com.
Jamie loves doing the power play point, but for whatever reason tonight, he wants a Warren Fogle anytime goal.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, Warren Fogle.
Fogle?
Okay.
All right.
There you go. Don't forget, we'll have all the coverage for you of Game 6. Puck drop at pregame at 6. Puck drop at 7 tomorrow night in Winnipeg. Tonight we got NBA action. Clippers, Nuggets, Game 6. Pregame at 8:30. Tip-off at 9. So you got a tip-off again at 9. Pregame at 8:30. Got some ESPN radio coming up between 6 and 8:30. What's been your favorite NBA series, CD?
I've been watching the Warriors and the Rockets heavily. The Warriors got smoked last night. Didn't have a chance. They actually put their backups in and almost pulled within single digits. They were getting the hell beat out of them by 30 at one point. So that was a good one. The Warriors obviously that one, and then the Wolves, Timberwolves, and the Lakers was a great series in my eyes because the T-Wolves beat the hell out of them.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Well said.
Watching them get beat up. The East, I ain't really been. The East it's kind of been
garbage.
Well, you just know who was going to win. You knew that the Celtics were going to win their series. You knew that the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to win their series. It's kind of been chalk up until this point. Still got the Pacers and Bucks was okay, but yeah. Those two were the best series, and the Clippers Nuggets. The Clippers Nuggets have been a really good series as well.
Marsh, your favorite non-hockey? I'm sorry, your favorite non-Blues Jets hockey series?
Ooh, that's a good question. Man, there's a few of them.
What's your favorite? One that's intrigued you the most? One that you've been drawn into?
So I like the Dallas and Colorado series because I feel like that is or could have been a Western Conference final matchup that you're getting in the first round.
Sure.
The Kings and Edmonton series has been interesting just because Edmonton has come back and now they lead that series. But the one that has me intrigued the most is definitely the Maple Leafs and Senators.
And even though you're going tonight with the Maple Leafs, you're itching for a Game 7.
Who doesn't love a good Game 7, Anthony? Doesn't matter what the sport is.
Especially when there's a very strong narrative.
The team that's
on
up
the line.
3-1, or 3-2. They don't love a Game 7.
Yeah.
They're probably pissed off about it. You asked who?
2 hours ago, JR tweeted out, he said he just got back from Winnipeg, and Andy Strickland reported, but confirming, no supplemental discipline coming for Braden Shen regarding the hit on Scheifele.
I do have a question. The Blues plane is stuck in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Winnipeg Jets get out? Are they here relaxing?
I don't know.
You think that's some gamesmanship? Hey, the plane
I wouldn't put it past the Jets.
The plane broke. You got to stay here for a few more hours. Meanwhile, the old Winnipeg Jets are comfy, cozy, in their hotel rooms,
That is
chilling.
weird. I didn't think about that.
Not bothering nobody, enjoying some Emo's pizza that you love, Anthony,
Well, I hope they're eating a whole bunch of that.
Why? Why, Anthony?
So they can enjoy the St. Louis pizza.
There you go. Yeah, I wonder if the Jets are here. Anybody got eyes on the Jets?
Of course, they probably would have Jets pizza, but
That's a good call. See what you did there?
Yeah.
Anybody got eyes on the Jets? We know if they're here or not?
Yeah, somebody
They probably landed at 11 a.m.
Yeah, just ready to go.
Yep.
Ready to
Took
practice.
a nap, rested, chilling.
What a joke. What a joke. All right. When we come back, what we learned, criticisms and compliments, and 3 stars here on 101 ESPN. you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com and the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today. CD, what'd you learn?
I learned from my sources that the Jets are in town. What? My sources is the text line.
Well, yeah, of course, no doubt. Yeah. Hey, listen, the Fast Lane text line.
Fast Lane text line. There you go.
Is one of our three sources. Mm-hmm. It's Wikipedia. It is the text line, and it's pizza.com.
Okay.
As long as one of those have it, then we're good.
And it means it's real.
Correct.
Yep, it's true.
Marsh, what'd you learn today?
I learned that not only do sports in different leagues within sports need villains and rivalries, but so do radio shows and the people within them. And I believe we have a rivalry brewing between Carey Davis and Chester.
I mean, a fine rivalry, too.
It's great.
Yeah. It's one that's engaging. It's ongoing.
He's hilarious. I give him credit. I give credit where credit is due.
You do, but you're also over there steaming.
I'm seething a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't see the smoke coming out of my ears. I got the headphones on.
And who's the villain? That's up for you to decide.
Right.
Right?
I think it's pretty clear. He texts and sends messages every damn day. He's a damn villain. I'm the victim here.
Well, you know what they say, too? It's not a good rivalry until one of the sides wins.
Very true.
This is a beatdown.
This is a Jim Harbaugh versus Ohio State thing going on here. Yeah, the thing that I learned today is that the Rizzuto show will not only fail to deliver on promises that were made and rules that were agreed upon, but they'll take it one step further by talking about how our office stinks. It did stink at one point.
Just one day.
One day.
It was,
and we corrected the problem.
Food that was, yeah.
How many days has it been since you have not said the Rizzuto show brought to you by the Fast Lane?
Man.
Too
90?
many.
Were you 120?
At least 60.
What day were they supposed to do it?
I think the day after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was in February.
Yes, sir.
We're in May.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 90 days. Close to it.
Are you shocked? Surprised?
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. But, maybe at some point they'll do the right thing. All right,
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Criticisms and compliments.
They probably beat Marshy in the Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah, there's no question.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
beat
no
the
question.
hell out of them.
Oh, yeah.
And they won't even get any of the questions right. They just pay for them.
Yes. Yeah. Which we've seen at trivia nights, too, when they paid for their win.
Yeah.
Giving all the mulligans up.
All right, from the 314, good show today. Everyone have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you as well. We appreciate you.
Mahomes Longbody says, let's go Ottawa tonight. Are we all rooting for Ottawa?
Yes.
And if they just happen to lose, then I stumble into a bet the board win.
True. Got any issue with that?
No.
All right.
DLW 1904 says Marsh is the villain in the Gauntlet.
He does beat up all
I
the
guess
good
so.
guys.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point.
Chester said Marsh beat me. How am I the villain?
You're the villain in CD's world.
Yeah.
Chester is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, somebody is always the villain in someone else's story.
Very true.
Everybody plays the villain in someone else's story.
Boy, you're right about that.
Yeah. Something I learned in therapy.
That's interesting.
Seriously. You are the villain in somebody's story. As are you, Marshy. As am I. It's just the way life goes. And you have villains in your story.
I'm going to try not to, but...
You do.
I do.
There's a villain. That damn infield coach is a villain.
I have been...
You told me the truth. And it hurt.
He's a villain.
I've been the villain for 13 people this year.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I see what you're doing. Because he's got 13 wins in the Gauntlet, so he's been the villain 13 times.
But 4 people are horrible people.
Horrible. That's a good ratio, though. I'll take the 13 good people.
That's probably that's actually probably relatively close to the real world.
Yeah, 13
You think
to
so?
4.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I wish it was more.
You think those 4 people, though, are more active on social media than the other 13?
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got burner accounts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We did get a question from the Air Comfort Service text line. If you could get rid of one of these social media apps, which one would it be?
I don't use TikTok.
Yeah, we can get rid of that.
Or Snapchat.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I mean, I don't really. I honestly, I will delete the apps from my phone for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need to decompress.
Yep.
Too much madness going on in the world.
Yeah.
Need a reset.
Marsh,
You need to
about
go
you?
ghost. I'd probably get rid of Snapchat.
Okay.
I used to be, for me, I used to use Snapchat a lot, but I just don't really look at it anymore. So, more Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't look at the Facebook.
The Facebook.
The Facebook.
Make a recommendation. Just drop the.
Let's keep it clean.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Marsh.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to a good narrative.
Yes.
Yeah. That
Certainly.
matters.
That does matter.
And who doesn't love that?
Toronto Maple Leafs fans, Josh Allen, Connor Hellebuyck.
You got to correct it.
Yeah.
Our 2nd star of the day goes out to Anthony Stalter, voice of the people.
Oh.
I don't know if I like
Voice
that.
of the people from 2 to 6.
That was
Every
not.
damn day.
Nah, that was not
Every day.
self-proclaimed. That Marsh said that.
Yeah. He's voice of the people.
I don't feel like the voice of the people here.
Nah, you are. First voice they hear, last voice they hear.
Yeah.
It's you.
2 to 6 at least, sure.
Old Johnny here from the Air Comfort Service text line said, "Hold Vic accountable, you coward."
Oh, wow. He said he didn't mean it.
Yeah, I choose to believe people. I choose to believe people when they tell me something. And, if it's found out that Vic was lying, then there will be a punishment.
Be a damn shame.
There would be blood.
Did he choose you?
Yes. Well, I don't know if he didn't choose me. He I was the last one left. I was all that was available, Carey.
Oh.
1st star of the day goes out to Ace Ventura.
Yeah. There's no way that woman across the hall heard that scream. Roger Podacter came home one night. It's a great scene. All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for hanging with us throughout the course of the day. We'll be back tomorrow live from Enterprise Center for Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.